And Yahuwah appeared to him by night, and baruked him, and said unto him, Your name shall not be called Yaakov, but Yashar'Al. Shall they name your name? And he said unto him again, I am Yahuwah, who created the heavens and the earth, and I will increase you and multiply you exceedingly, and kings shall come forth from you, and they shall judge everywhere that the feet of the sons of Adam have trodden. And I will give to your seed all the earth which is under heaven, and they shall judge all the nations according to their desires, and after that they shall get possession of the whole earth and inherit it forever. Amen. Hey Brandon, Red Bear, welcome. John Allen, welcome. Want to welcome some folks in, just getting started. We've been in the book of Jubilees. Hey Darlene, look at that, you got here right quick. Hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom. Hey Trucker Rand, welcome. Yes, Shalom Shalom sister. And where's my Asha? Are you in here, babe? Mm-hmm. Up, and there she is. And baby. Vera, walk-in. Angie Israel, welcome.
Oh, Darlene's
Mark,
in here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh,
Mark,
she's in the contest.
me, 43. Yep, she's going to be in the drawing later. Houdan, welcome. Mr. Micah, welcome.
I think he's in the raffle too.
We saw your name in the drawing later. That's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern. Shabbat Shalom, welcome. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We got some great scripts. Abba always has great scripts for us, but yeah, there's some definite meat coming up here. We're going to be in Yubalym 31 through 35. I just wanted to give everyone an opportunity to get in here. Welcome. Hey, Ray Lucero, welcome. RPK the Equalizer, I think. Welcome. Jeffrey McMillan, welcome. Thank you for the likes. That always helps to pull other people in. Some people who may not know this truth or have heard these things because they've been lied to by the churches, right? Hallelujah. Right? We're not practicing religion. Yeah? This is about the ancient path, right? Walking in the statutes and commandments of our Creator, the Most High Yahuwah, Baruk Yahuah. Shalom, welcome in. Also, please share with any and all who you feel may be baruked by the word. Powwow, welcome. See a lot of people popping in. See a lot of people popping out.
Why do they say powwow?
Huh?
Why do they say it? Call it a powwow?
Oh, they call it a powwow because the drum goes pow, and the people go wow. Hallelujah. You know what's funny? I saw that on a TikTok video. Also, you guys, if you have any questions or anything that I'll try to answer before we even get started. Obviously, I'll be spending a lot of my time face down in these scriptures once we do get started. We're going to do a Binus Palal, and yeah.
I like that lion.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Your name shall be Yashar'Al. Hallelujah. Damon, are you in here? I see your thing popping up. Oh, there he is. How you doing, Aki? Baruk Yahuah.
What does Yashar'Al mean again?
Great to see you. Yashar is like straight or upright, right? So Yashar'Al would be like the upright ones of Elohim. It's also kind of similar to Qadashayam. Qadash means righteous. And I believe that when it says Qadashayam, it's saying, because we have this word in Abrith that's a Yod Mam, which would be Yam, which is peoples. So it's possessive. Like it's like Yahuwah saying, my righteous peoples. Qadashayam of Yasharal. Yashar'Al is kind of like saying the upright peoples of Elohim. So in a way, they're interchangeable, right?
No.
If you're not Zarim and you're Yashar'Al, then you're Qadashayam. See, it's all.
And you're Abarim.
And you're Abarim,
which is the crossed over peoples.
The crossed over peoples, and the crossed over tongue, or the tongue of the crossed over peoples, Abarith, right? That Yahuwah wrote with his own finger, 22 letters. Yeah, there's a lot happening right now. It's my honor to be here, Aki. This is Yahuwah's day. So like we're going through some of Barashit with our son earlier, and looking at the creation week, and you know, everything about the calendar always jumps out really powerful to me when I look at creation week. You know, Genesis chapter 1 is a foundational chapter for the establishment of his Moedim, the calendar that hopefully you guys all have. If you have not received it, you can email me and I'll send you a free PDF copy of it. But the 6 days of creation are placed apart from the 7th day. I know it kind of, you're like, yeah, duh, we all know that. You cannot interchange them. It cannot be moved around. Those 6 days work heartily is unto Yahuwah. They are placed apart from the 7th day in all creation. It's its own separate day, just like the day cannot be the night, and the night cannot be the day. Before the Father had created any sun, moon, stars, anything, he separated the light from the dark, and he called the day, or the light, day, and the night, or in the darkness he called night. So they're already separated, divided. They're not interchangeable. It's the same thing with the Shabbat. It cannot be moved around. Baruk Yahuah. Oh, you have not yet? Okay. You're probably not in the drawing tonight either. At 6 p.m. we're going to be drawing a winner for, well, it's over there in the box, but it's a brand new restored name scriptures, never been opened. We're going to have a drawing, and if you are selected, if your lot is chosen, because we're casting lots, a random drawing, then I'll send you an email, and you have 48 hours to reply. And if you do not reply within the 48 hours, I'll be drawing another name, and we'll continue to do it until we have someone reply, and then we'll ship it to them. Get the address and ship it to them. They're the winner. Bro, I've been talking about the drawing for a while. It's too late to get into the drawing now. I can't do that. I'm sorry. But you could try to get in on the next one, because Abba willing, I want to have another one if the Father wills that we get to 1,000 subscribers, because I initiated this one when we hit 400. Thank you guys for your support and for subscribing to the channel. And now by the time we actually get to do the drawing, we're already at 675, Baruk Yahuah. Yeah, Damon, sorry, bro. But what you would do is email me, like if you're asking for a copy of the calendar, subscribe to the YouTube channel. So just keep an eye out for the next one. well, we joined to learn. Yeah, hallelujah. That's the greatest treasure, right? And if you already have a scripture, restored name scripture, Baruk Yahuah, one of the subscribers was asking me, hey, I heard that the Sephar is Masonic, you know, and I will say, like, I've seen the evidence and I don't doubt it, right? I have not found a perfect English translated Bible. If you know of one, please let me know, because I want to just rush right out and get that. They all have different issues. The Sefer has a lot of Elohim issues in it. I love that zeal, sis. That's awesome. But so as I read through it, I'll try to replace the unclean names with the clean names. And we're always learning as we go. Yesterday I went back and I said, let me check out like the oldest video on this channel. And I just decided to take like 2 of them down, because there's so much that I didn't know. I've listened to myself and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. So I just took them down. And the last one, I did leave it up because there's a lot of meat in it, but it also has. So we have to give understanding to each other. Just like, remember when Masha took Yashar'Al out of Egypt, they were in the wilderness for 40 years so that they could get all that poo-poo off the bottom of their shoes, I like to say, right? Because come out of Christianity, you still got some poo-poo stuck to the bottom of your shoe. It's just the facts, right? Thank you, Diane. So it took 40 years, though, for them to get all that dross off, to become sanctified so that they could worship him in Ruach and truth.
I mean, they still...
And they, of course, we know they still messed up, but they had to unlearn all this stuff, then start to adopt the Qadash things, and then walk in them almost like a generation or 2 before they could actually get there. You know, Baruk Yahuah. So anyway, the video I left up there is called Bring Forth Meat for Repentance. And I would encourage you to go back and watch it. Especially like if you're new and everything, welcome, hallelujah, so joyful that you're here. But please know you can go back and watch the older stuff. There's over 400 videos. I don't even know if I could say how many hours worth of content, because a lot of the videos are 2 hours long, 3 hours long, and there's just a lot of meat for us to chew on, you know? Baruk Yahuah. Because it's a lot more than just the calendar and just the language. It's also like, how do we relationship clean? How do we wife clean, and husband and mother and father and brother and sister and all that, right? And I want to ask the Father to help me in every way possible to answer anyone's questions or concerns or specific issue that comes up in your life and you don't know what to do. You know, iron does sharpen iron, right? And those who have been in the way, who manage things well, discern well, they are the ones that we should go to and ask for these questions and things. Like for the wives, you need to be mentored by a wife and a mother who has children and who has experience in submitting to her husband, which is a very difficult thing, I would imagine. I mean, we're pretty messed up creatures as husbands, right?
I think that we have examples of this even in worldly perspective. Like, you don't go to somebody seeking advice on how to buy a car when they've never done it before. Right? You don't go to somebody who's never even bore children to ask them about the grieving process of losing a child, right? You go to somebody who's experienced the same things as you. So you don't go to a female who is 19 years old, never been married, never had any children.
Thinks her cats are like children.
Right. To ask her what it's like and to how to walk in faithfulness and obedience to your husband.
Absolutely.
She don't know.
Right? You don't go to a pastor of a circa who teaches lawlessness and thinks that he's on a spinning ball to get directions. Would you go ask them for directions? They have no idea where they are or any, like, they don't, how can they give you directions and righteousness and obedience and submission to Yahuwah when they're calling him by the names of four mighty ones and think that they're, you know, in a galaxy far, far away or whatever? It's crazy.
Right, you ask directions from people who have been there.
Absolutely, hallelujah.
You can't MapQuest or Google Maps relationships.
Right,
like,
right. And there are things that you need to talk to a sister about.
Yeah.
If you're a wife and a mother, it's okay to go to an elder, right? And they can give you advice from a male perspective. They can give you advice from the scripture, right? But you should have a sister.
He should bring along his wife to help.
I always try to bring along my wife. That's why I don't private message females, but if you email, we share that information, or the Facebook group we also share. And for the most part, I feel confident that Yahusha can answer a lot of the questions that come up because we lived through them ourselves. You know, and if she doesn't know, she's faithful to come to me and say, okay, this is what's going on. I got this sister that's asking me this, and I said this, and she, you know, if there's, to see if there's something else or something more. You know, we're always bouncing things off of each other that way. Anyways, that's what we should be doing.
I've even referred, and if a sister comes to me with an issue that I don't know how to deal with, but I have another sister who I know has been through that, I'm like, hey, are you friends with so-and-so? Because I know that she has experience in that. And then I'll go to that sister too and be like, I have, you know, this sister who's dealing with this issue. Would you mind talking to her? Because I know that you have experience in that I don't really feel comfortable speaking on because I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to have 6 children. Like,
right.
I have 6 in one sometimes.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, I don't know what that's like, and I know what it's like to home birth or anything like that. So I'll refer those kind of things to sisters I know have experience in that.
Hallelujah. Baruk Yahuah. That's so sweet, Diane. Thanks, sis, for that. She says, I can vouch for that. Akuti is awesome.
Aww.
So sweet. Hallelujah. Yeah, all right. So I'm not sure if I should, let me just kind of hang out a little bit longer before we get started to see if anybody else is going to be coming in. And like I said, guys, thank you for the likes and for the shares. It always does help. Thank you guys for the subscriptions, the support on the YouTube channel. Palal, that the connection remains strong. That's one of the ways I feel like the enemy likes to interfere with our assembling together, right? It is our honor to help. We are all to help each other. Iron sharpens iron, and we bear one another's burdens, and that is the way that we should be towards each other, right? Very, very kind. Kindness is like, how would you describe kindness versus being NICE, which is actually kind of it's an unclean word, really. Yeah,
well, kindness is sacrificial. Right?
Right? It's like saying, it's like instead of saying, go be warm, be clothed and be warm and be fed.
Yeah.
Which is, that's really NICE for you to say.
Right.
Doesn't amount to much, right? But you actually give them clothes, like, hey, let's go buy you a coat. It's really cold outside. We can go buy you one, you know?
Yeah, you're giving up something
That's
of
kind.
Your own.
Yes.
To provide for somebody else.
Yes. Right?
Yeah.
And actually giving them something to eat. You know? That's
Nice
how we're supposed to be. Let's show it, right? Not just talk about it, but be about it.
Let's look it up really quick because I have the etymology. Nice. Foolish, ignorant, frivolous, senseless, careless, clumsy, weak, poor, needy, stupid.
Ain't that something?
Ignorant, unaware.
And think about people. I mean, you know, unfortunately, if you were up in the church or something, oh, he's so nice. Oh, she's so nice.
It's actually an insult.
Like, oh, so foolish, so stupid. So, you know, it's like, wow. It's the same thing with BLESS, you know.
Yeah.
We're like, we think that saying that to someone is just about the kindest, most loving thing we can say. Oh, you know, GODBLESSU, and it comes out to be a curse. A really vile curse, because sprinkling blood on a pagan altar is akin to eating meat sacrificed to idols.
It's idolatry.
It's literally what it is.
Spiritual fornication.
Spiritual fornication, that's right, baby. Is there any kind of tribulations or being called to heaven like exanity? Is there any kind of tribulations or being called to heaven like extianity? Don't understand this question. Sorry, Aki, I don't know what you mean. I want to answer, but I don't understand exactly what you're asking me. Yeah, babe.
I'm sorry. Can I just make a side point? That to the sisters, I'm sorry that I have been absent from TikTok for so long. I needed a mental and spiritual break from it, but I am going to try to be more active again, and with the permission and Baruk from my husband, obviously, start doing the
Torah trivia.
Torah trivia again.
Okay, honey. So, I will already tell you that my answer to that would be yes, but we didn't talk about it
Yes.
privately first.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Just throwing it out there, more just the apology.
It was fun. We love it. We want it back.
I'm pretty sure people have been messaging me, but I have not been.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we need time. We need to step away and have time. That's all well. You guys probably, I don't know how many of you guys know, but like my Shah had to suffer through some near death experiences with her health. And they were very traumatic and very scary for all of us, but especially for her. And multiple times that she had to stay in the hospital for extended periods of time, to where she couldn't even really swallow water. Like, that's how swollen, closed her throat was. Very, very scary. And dealing with the diabetes, which is also very scary. Baruk Atah Yahuah, she's doing so much better now. She's getting all of her strength back. She every now and then has an issue swallowing something, but we know that it's improving. And I definitely believe that eating the Qadashayam beef, right? Mm-hmm. It's a very special food for us, I believe. The beasts of the field that the Father created out of the earth. Unlike the birds and the fish, which are also amazing, but did you know that the birds were created from the water? Yahuwah created them out of water.
So crazy.
How did I not know this before? How come you guys didn't tell me that? I mean, on the 5th day, he created what swims and what flies, and he did it all from the water. It was the 6th day that he created things from the earth, including us, who are unique and special in all creation, because he breathed a living soul into us. Hallelujah. So, yeah, she gone through a lot, my baby over here. She had to put up with me, too.
That's
and
the
all
hardest thing.
Yeah. You guys might like to listen to me every, a couple hours a week, but she's got to do it all the time. So, all right. Hallelujah. Thank you, everyone who's here. It's great to be with you guys, all of you guys. And I'm excited about the scripts that we're going to get into. I want to open with Abinu's Palal. Welcome Ricky Floyd. And welcome also War 731. Some new faces I'm seeing here. Welcome, welcome. Shabbat Shalom. Baruk Yahuah. Hallelujah Yahuah. Right? Alright, I'm going to read Abinu's Palal. I'm going to read it all the way through in the pure language, Abrith, and then I'm going to read it in the English so for understanding, okay? Abinu Bashamayim, Kadash Kishamka, Malak Utka Bua, Yaro Uka Asha, All Aratz Khan, Bashamayim, Natan Lanu Hayum At, Lacham Bahat Sarak, U Salach Lanu Lachatainu, Ki Lanu Salach Utam, Lachatain Kam Kara Lanu, U Parat Lanu Lata'ah, U Yashal Lanu Marasha, La Malak Utka Shalat, Hakach Uha Kabad, Bahasham Okal Shamut, Yahusha is Yahuah, Halu Yahuah. Our Father in heaven, separated is your name, your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth so it is in heaven. Give us the day agreement, bread in the need, and forgive us for our crimes as we forgive them for their crimes against us. Lead us not astray, and rescue us from evil doing. For your kingdom reigns, the power and the esteem, in the name above all names, Yahusha HaMashiach. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yeah, you guys pull out each day. Hallelujah. Wonderful, wonderful. Alright, so we're going to be picking back up in chapter 31. I want to just remind you guys where we are, kind of like on the timeline. I'm going to just go back a little bit to chapter 30 for a second. In chapter 30, verse 1, it says, in the first year of the 6th week, he went up to Salem, to the east of Shechem in Shalum, in the 4th month. I want us to understand that it's the 4th month, okay? Because everything that happens on Yahuwah's Moedim, his calendar, is significant. He's always doing major events on his appointed times. So, and we need to get a hold of this because it's been dislodged and lost to us and everyone's lying about it. A lot of people are just confused and they repeat stuff without understanding. So, if you recall, Dinah, their sister, when I say they, I'm talking about the 12 sons of Yashar'Al, okay? Yaakov's daughter, Dinah. She was defiled by these wicked men of Shechem, okay? And she was only 12 years old. She was just a little girl. And they wanted to marry her and all this too. So then the two sons, Louis, who they call Levi, and Shamuan, who they call Simeon, went and avenged their sister by the sword. And this was well pleasing to Yahuwah. So get understanding, okay? This was Qadash. So much so that Louis was appointed to be a priest in Yashar'Al because of that. That's amazing, you guys. Okay, so we got to get understanding. Why do you think they took these books away from us, family? Okay, so now when we go, I'm going to pick up in chapter 30. I'm in the book of Yubalym, Jubilees, chapter 31. I'm just recapping what happened a little bit in chapter 30. That video is on the YouTube channel if you want to go check it out. Okay, we're already up to part 7, I think. Hallelujah. So it says, and on the new moon of the month. What month? The 4th month. I just told you everything that happened in the 4th month. Okay. The new moon of the 4th month is the beginning of summer. Okay. The first full moon of the 4th month is the sign in the Shemayim. She's for seasons. She's letting you know that it's the next day is Shabbat unto Yahuwah, Qadash assembly, no servile work, an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah, and blow the shupar, the ram's horn. That's what this is, family. Okay, this is a ram's horn. It's not complicated. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I'm sorry about the background, like it's glitching out. The really long one that gets all spinning around that they like to use, that ain't a ram's horn.
It's an antelope.
That's an antelope's horn, okay? And I'm just saying, for me and my household, we're going to obey what the scriptures say. That's what a shupar is. They want to call it a shofar. There's no F in that word. And there's no long O. Right? Shin, Ua, Pei, Rash, the letters make shupar. Hallelujah. Okay, so on the new moon of this month, Jacob spoke to all the people of his house, saying, "Purify yourselves, change your garments. Let us arise and go up to Baal." Baal is like a house of Elohim, but they call Bethel, right? "Where I vowed a vow to him on the day when I fled from the face of Esau, my brother." So he knows that's where he entered into the agreement with Yahuwah. Very significant, okay? I haven't done a video on this yet, but I want to. The root of the word covenant is from coven, which is what a circle of witches do when they enter into their agreements together. Okay? That's not Qadash. Okay? Witchcraft is disobedience. Baruk Yahuah. So I like to say agreement, or I like to say oath. Okay? Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Right? Okay. So Jacob is leading his entire tribe, clan, family. He's got the 12 sons, okay? And he's like, hey, sanctify yourselves, clean yourselves. We're going to go have this feast. When I fled from the face of Esau, my brother, because he had been with me and brought me into this land in Shalum, and put ye away the strange Elohai from among you. So this goes back to that cleanse your camp. Get rid of the accursed thing. We're going before Yahuwah, right? The name of the YouTube channel, Ak, is Qadashayam of Yasharal. And the link is in the bio if you want that too. Okay, Yahuwah. Thank you for asking. All right, so it's important. He's telling them to get rid of the Elohai, the idols, right? Devil worshiping, all these demons, all this stuff, right? We are surrounded by it too, family. Okay, we need to cleanse our camps. We need to get rid of the accursed things too. All right? And they gave up the strange Elohai, and that which was in their ears, and which was on their necks, and the teraphim, which Rachel stole from Laban, her father, she gave over to Yaakov, Baruk Yahuah. Okay?
Aww, great job, Rachel.
That's right. And what did he do? Did he go pawn it? Did he sell it for some shekels? No. He burned it and broke it into pieces and destroyed it. And then scattered the remains under oak in the land of Shechem. Right?
He didn't give them to the thrift store.
So if you got some old DVDs and CDs and like magazines and all the stuff that comes from the world, get rid of that stuff. Burn it, destroy it, throw it out. Don't give it to someone else and do that, please. Okay. So now this is pretty cool because Yahuwah stirred up Jacob to sanctify and cleanse his whole household, right? He's the head of the household. And that was on the new moon day of the 4th month. Okay? Now it goes, and on the new moon of the 7th month. Well, the 7th month is the marker for the beginning of autumn. And I've been saying this stuff for quite a while now about the calendar, you guys. And look how much confirmation we have in the book of Yubalym that big things happen on these key Moedims. All right. He went up on the new moon of the 7th month to Baal, and he built an altar at the place where he had slept, and he built up a pillar there, and he sent word to his father Yatzak to come to his sacrifice. So why is he having a sacrifice on the new moon of the 7th day?
Because it's a Qadash assembly.
That's right. Why is he calling his father? Because it's a Qadash assembly. Why are they roasting meat unto Yahuwah? Because that's what we do on the new moon days, family. Okay, Baruk Yahuah. Also, what is this built-in altar? How do you build an altar? Earth and stones, the actual rocks that you can go gather up and assemble together. You can't apply your tool to it because as soon as you do that, it's defiled. That's Turah. That's in Exodus chapter 20, verse 25, I think.
Isn't the altar where they roast the meat too?
Yeah, so they would gather up all these stones, put them in a circle, get the fire going, get it really hot, and then you put the meat right on the rock and right there. Hallelujah. Right? Okay, because his rocks are perfect and you don't need to change them or alter them in any way. Yitzhak said, "Let my son Yaakov come and let me see him before I perish." So Yaakov went to Yitzhak and to his mother Rebecca they call her, right? To the house of his father Abraham, and he took his 2 sons with him, Louis and Yehuda. Levi and Judah, they like to say. And he came to his father Yitzhak and to his mother Rebekah. And Rebekah came forth to the tower to the front to kiss Yaakov and embrace him. For her Ruach, the spirit within her, was revived when she heard, "Behold, Yaakov your son is here." And she kissed him. And she saw the 2 sons, and she recognized them, and she said, "Are these your sons, my son?" And she embraced them and kissed them and baruked them, saying, "In you shall the seed of Abraham become illustrious, and you shall prove to be a Barukah upon Ha'aratz, the earth." And Yaakov went in to Yitzhak his father, to the chamber where he was resting, and his 2 sons were with him. And he took the hand of his father and stooped down and kissed him. And Yitzhak clung unto the neck of his son Yaakov and wept. Okay, so now, if you guys recall, previously it said that Yitzhak's darkness had come upon Yitzhak's eyes, so his vision had become poor. But right here, we're going to see that the Ruach of Yahuwah brightens his eyes, that he can see these 2 sons, right? And the darkness left the eyes of Yitzhak, and he saw the 2 sons of Yaakov, Louis and Yehuda. And he said, "Are these your sons, my son? For they are like you." Baruk Yahuah.
That's so awesome.
And he said unto him, that they were truly his sons, and you have truly seen that they are truly my sons. Right?
And who are they? Judah and Levi?
Yeah. This is great, you guys.
Malak Sadak. Sorry.
She's right. She's right. Any of you guys who don't know, haven't seen my previous videos, these people like to say something about the order of Melchizedek. Well, first of all, that's Yiddish gibberish. There's a secret society called the Order of Melchizedek. What's in the scriptures is Malak Tzedek, which is King of Righteousness. And I was just, we were going for a walk earlier, and I was telling my shot, and I was saying, you know, when it says in the scriptures, your rod and your staff, they comfort me, I feel like it could be saying the staff like a priest would have, and the rod like a king would have. Because Yahuwah is the righteous king, and he is the righteous priest, Yahusha, HaMashiach, right? And so he is what is described in Abrim chapter 7, Hebrews chapter 7, who is without mother, without father, without beginning, without ending, right? So anyway, yeah, she's understanding before I get there what's coming.
Sorry.
You're okay. And they came near to him, and he turned and kissed them, and he embraced them both together. And the Ruach of prophecy, this is also the Ruach of Yahuwah, the Ruach Ha'Qadash. Okay? This is not some effeminate spirit. This is the masculine spirit of our Father in the Shemayim, Yahuwah. Get understanding. Okay? He is one. One. Achad. That's what we know. Behold, Yashar'Al, Yahuwah, our Elohim, is Achad. Okay, so this is the Ruach of prophecy coming down into his mouth. He took Levi by his right hand and Yehuda by his left hand. And he turned to Louis first, and he began to Baruk him first, and said, "May Elohim of all, The very Yahuwah of all ages, Baruk you and your children throughout all the ages. And may Yahuwah give to you and to your seed greatness and great esteem, and cause you and your seed from among all flesh to approach unto him, to serve in his sanctuary, this is a priestly role, as the angels of the presence and as the Kadash Echads, or the Holy ones. Holy is unclean for us to say. Just so you know, there's a pagan festival of colors that is called Holi. It's really about the pronunciation, not the spelling. The spelling is like the trick, the spell casting. And also there's a foreign mighty one called Holika. So we would say Kadash, okay? Now, even as they shall the seed of your sons be for the esteem and the greatness and the righteousness, and may he make them great unto all the ages. Right? So this is Louis, right? Like the Levitical priesthood. And they shall be judges and princes and chiefs of all the seeds of the sons of Yaakov. That's all of Yashar'Al. They shall speak the word of Yahuwah in righteousness. This is something that it absolutely is scriptural. It 1000% is scriptural. Okay? To speak the words of righteousness be like the role of a Kadash priest. Okay? To speak truth, to have no guile in your mouth. And they shall judge all his judgments in righteousness, to be a righteous judge. Kadash. Okay? And they shall declare my ways to Yaakov and my paths to Yashar'Al. The Baruk of Yahuah shall be given in their mouths, to Baruk all the seed of the beloved. Okay, so they're going to speak Baruks unto the people. Okay, that's again a reference to a priestly role, a Kadash priestly role. Your mother has called your name Louis, and justly has she called your name. You shall be joined to Yahuwah, and be the companions of all the sons of Yaakov. Let his table be yours, and do you and your sons eat thereof. And may your table be full unto all the generations, and your food fail not unto all the ages. And let all who hate you fall down before you, and let all your adversaries be rooted out and perish. And Baruk it be he that Baruks you, and cursed every nation that curses you. That's why I chose, oh no, that was last week, sorry. The title of the series we did last week was that Baruk be he that Baruks you.
What verse was that?
That was 17. 31:17. Okay? So that was the Baruk he put upon Louis. Now we're going to see on Yehuda, right? And to Yehuda he said, may Yahuwah give you strength and power to tread down all that hate you. A prince you shall be. This is a rulership role. This is what it is, more like a kingly type of thing. Okay, so understand what's happening. You and one of your sons over the sons of all Yaakov, or Yashar'Al. May your name and the name of your sons go forth and traverse every land and region. Then shall the other nations fear before your face, and all the nations shall quake, and all the peoples shall quake. In you shall be the help of Yaakov, and in you be found this word right here. It's a Yiddish word that they wrote in here, Yeshua. This actually is the word for salvation, okay? But it's a prophecy about Yahusha HaMashiach coming from the line of Yehuda. Okay, Baruk Yahuah. So in you shall the deliverance of Yashar'Al be, and when you are sitting upon the throne of honor of your righteousness, a Kadash king, there shall be great Shalum for all the seed of the sons of the beloved. Baruk be he that Baruks you, and all that hate you and afflict you and curse you shall be rooted out and destroyed from the earth and accursed. And that's a prophecy all the way to the new heavens, the new earth, the 144,000 ruling on the face of the earth, and all this stuff, rooting out all the wicked seed from the land. Earlier, remember we were just reading in Isaiah, and it was talking about Hashatan fallen from heaven, and that
Isaiah 14.
his, what was it going to be rooted out? His root would be removed. His root would be removed. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Hope if I'm missing anything, honey, please let me know. Okay, so we just saw Yatzak, okay, baruching these two sons of Yaakov, Louis and Yehuda. One where it's like almost all the stuff that he's saying sounds like more like a priestly Barukah, and the other one like a king's Barukah. So it's pretty beautiful, like my Shah was saying, Malak Sadak, because Malak Sadak is kings and priests forever, right? So that means that you make righteous judgments and righteous rulings, and also that you lead people in the paths of righteousness, that you're pouring the word of truth onto people and the love of Yahuwah onto people, right? So, and
atoning, right? Part of the priestlyhood was atonement.
Yeah, and I think that what the Father was showing me earlier today is dead on. I'm going to continue to explore but you have a rod and a staff, okay? And so the rod of iron would be something that a king would hold, and then the staff, we walk with the staff. This is really something more that a priest of Yashar'Al, so to say, would have, okay? But he wants us to be kings and priests, to be both. But Qadash, righteous in all rulings and all judgments, completely Qadash, right? Okay.
Yeah, and the shepherd's staff was never used to strike, right? Like it was used to fend off the enemy.
Right. Defend, protect, guard.
Right? But the hook on the staff was meant to help keep...
Correction.
Right. And help keep them with the rest of the flock. It was never used to strike the flock.
Hallelujah. And that's a beautiful way to explain what the role of a head of a household is, what it is to steward your household well, and to lead your wife and your children in the paths of righteousness. You're making corrections. No, not over there, not that way. No, we're over here. We do this over here, right? And also protection and provision. That's what it is, right? Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of these leaders aren't warding off enemies.
Yeah,
and a shepherd would.
I wasn't going to go here with this, but now I'm gonna. The Father wants me to say it, and I'm going to say it. Okay, so in the Greek, there's a lot of error and there's a lot of damage done, and it says something in there like it's a shame for a man to have long hair. That's just a horrible translation. Okay, Maya Shah and I did a video called "Females in Authority." It's really all-encompassing. It goes from Genesis to Corinthians, and all covers the whole thing. Okay, all these prophetesses and everything to explain and get understanding. What's a shame for a man to have is a religious authority over him, right? We should be under the headship of Yahusha directly, nothing else between us and the Most High Yah, okay? It's different for the female. The females ideally would grow up and have a Qadash father and grow up under him, under his protection, his provision. He's leading her spiritually. Then when she leaves her father, she goes to her husband and becomes one with him. And he takes on that responsibility in that role. And these so-called males in churches who sit under priests and pastors and different things, they're not stepping up and leading their families their way they're supposed to. Okay? Some of it's just ignorance because they don't know better. They would rather believe that it's a shame to have long hair than it's a shame for them to not lead their families well. That's for darn sure. It's not showing up. She's trying to show.
Can't see it, but
she's trying to show. She braided my hair, and she's trying to show you the long.
Yeah, it's long.
So it's really all about spiritual headship. That's what it is. A head covering is not a piece of fabric. It's not this. That's not what it is. That's what they want you to believe in religion. Okay, it has to do with being a spiritual authority over your household, which is what Yatzak. Earlier when we were reading, Yaakov assembled all of his family together and told him, get rid of the idols, right? We're going to have a feast unto Yahuwah. he's leading his family in righteousness. Yitzhak is palaling over his grandsons to Baruk them. And this is all along the same line as that. Yes, honey.
I was going to say, too, like, scripture doesn't contradict itself.
Mm-hmm.
And Shamuel and Samson, who took the oath,
Nazarite vow.
Mm-hmm. Part of that vow is committing not to ever cut your hair.
Exactly. See how contradictory their Extian understanding is? They're going to think that it's a shame to have long hair, but the Qadash priests did.
Yeah.
That's like saying that you can't eat clean meat, even though Yahuwah commanded his priests to eat of it. That's just, you're so lost.
Yeah.
You're lost. All right, let's continue. We're in chapter 31, and I'm going to go verse 21. And he turned back and kissed him again and embraced him and rejoiced greatly, for he had seen the sons of Jacob, his sons, in very truth. I believe that is actually, if I recall back, he had palal to Yahuwah that he would see them. He knows already that he doesn't have that much longer to live too. Yitzhak, I mean. And he went forth from between his son's feet and fell down and bowed down to him. And he baruked them and rested there with Yitzhak his father that night. And they ate and drank with great joy. And he made the two sons of Jacob sleep, one on the right and one on the left. And it was counted to him for righteousness. Just love that. Got to remember too that the whole thing behind this book is the Qadash angels are telling all this to Masha. Okay? They're explaining. So when they say it was counted unto him as righteousness, that's saying Yahuwah counted it unto him as righteousness. You know what I'm saying? And Jacob told his father everything during that night. How Yahuwah had shown him great mercy. How he had prospered him in all of his ways and protected him from all evil. And Yitzhak baruked Elohim of his father Abraham. Elohim, who had not withdrawn his mercy and his righteousness from the son of his servant Yitzhak. And in the dawning Jacob told his father Yitzhak the vow which he had vowed unto Yahuwah, and the vision which he had seen, and that he had built an altar, and that everything was prepared for the sacrifice to be made before Yahuwah, as he had vowed, and that he had come to place his father upon, I'll just say a donkey, right, and bring him. And Yitzhak said to Jacob his son, I'm not able to go with you, for I am old. I'm not able to bear the way. Go, my son, in Shalom, for I'm 165 years this day. I'm no longer able to journey. Place your mother upon the ass and let her go with you. And I know, my son, that you have come on my account, and may this day be baruked, on which you have seen me alive, and I also have seen you, my son. Yes, baby.
A brother in here has a question as to why Solomon refers to the Ruach as a she.
Are you talking about Proverbs?
Yeah, this is coming up a lot lately.
So this is really simple. I'm going to take a moment. It's really not to divert too much from this instruction, but so get this. So you have these two females that are compare and contrast. Okay? You have wisdom, who's righteous, she's Qadash, she guards the commandments, and you have foolishness, who's a harlot, she does what's right in her own eyes. Okay, she hates the commandments of Yahuwah. And if you get that understanding, when you read the Proverbs, you're going to understand the Proverbs so much more. Okay? Wisdom is one of the sevenfold Ruachs of Yahuwah. Why do I say sevenfold? Because that's what it says in Hazum. And what does it mean? It means like a completeness, right? So, wisdom is fearing Elohim, guarding his commandments and statutes, leading your household well, instructing your child in the way that they shall go, that they may not ever depart from it. Don't be a fool. Be wise. It's really that simple.
fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom.
That's right. Didn't I just say that?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
Maybe you did. Sorry.
It's okay. You're right, though. Thank you for emphasizing that, right? Because that's true. Okay? Just so you know, the false teachings and the doctrines that make wisdom out to be a female, and even some that say that Yahuwah laid with her and they created things together. This is Queen of Heaven worship. You gotta get this. The enemy's very crafty, but it's the same old crap. Okay? Yeah. Asherah, Diana, Isis, Ishtar, Columbia, Semiramis. All goddess worship is devil worship. Okay? Because it's the foreign mighty ones who want to receive the worship. That's why they become these things so they can be worshipped. It's idolatry, it's spiritual fornication. Okay? You could say that wisdom is an attribute of Yahuwah. So would you say that he created wisdom so that he didn't have wisdom prior to that?
Right.
That's crazy talk, bro. That's like saying he is love, but if it said he created love and you go, well, then did he not have love before that? I mean, that's just preposterous.
And if fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom, is fear also a separate entity? No.
Yeah,
right? Reverence, it comes from obedience and realizing
modern day Babylon.
Is. Yeah.
Yep, that's right. And there's a video on the YouTube channel not too long ago either, too, that's Ruach Ha'Qadash, Spirit of Wisdom. You should go check it out, because there's other points that I bring out there to defend what I'm saying right here, if you're interested. Okay. May you prosper and complete the vow which you have vowed, and put not off your vow, for you shall be called to account as to touching the vow. Now therefore make haste to perform it, and may he be pleased who has made all things, to whom you have vowed the vow. And he said to Ribkah, go with Yaakov your son. And Ribkah went with Yaakov her son, and Deborah with her, and they came to Baal. And Yaakov remembered the Palal, which his father had Baruked him and his two sons, Louis and Yehuda, and he rejoiced and Baruked the Elohim of his fathers, Abraham and Yitzhak. And he said, now I know that I have an eternal hope, and my sons also, before the Elohim of all. And thus it is ordained concerning the two, that they record it, an eternal testimony unto them on the heavenly tablets, how Yitzhak Baruked them. Hallelujah. So, we see oftentimes in here reference to the heavenly tablets, also sapphire stones, okay, because the dome that's over our head, Ha-Rakia, the firmament, is made out of this sapphire. That's what I believe. Okay, so the tablets that Masha first received at Sinai were made. Hang on, it's doing the puzzle piece thing. They were made out of these heavenly stones, and he smashed them in his zeal because Yashar'Al was practicing idolatry, this golden calf. Right? Welcome in, B-Dub, and grateful that you are here. Okay, so that was the end of chapter 31. We're going to go into 32. And he abode that night at Baal, and Louis dreamt that they had ordained and made him a priest of all Yan, him and his sons forever. And he awoke from his sleep, and he Baruk Yahuah. We see a lot of our people too having dreams on these key moedim. So I want you to know when the new moon of the first month is, and when the new moon of the fourth month, and the new moon of the seventh month, and the new moon of the 10th month, and why those particular moedim. Okay, like we talked about in Yubalym chapter 6 with Noach, who they call Noah, and all the things that happened with him with the flood and everything, how it was happening on these very key moedims. Yahuwah does mighty things on his Moedim. Okay? And Yaakov rose up early in the dawning on the 14th of this month. 14th of this month. So we're in the 7th month. I know you guys can't see my screen this time, and I apologize. But I'm just going to go to the 7th month. Email me if you want the calendar, so you can always pull out your calendar if you have it. We're in month number 7. So the 14th is the second Shabbat of that particular month. It's not always the second Shabbat on the 14th. It's this way this time because the previous month was the one that had 31 days. Okay? So when you go into a new season, that first month is always 30 days of each new season. 1, 4, 7, 10. Okay? So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of work, and then Shabbat, and then, 6 more days of work, and then Shabbat. So we are on the second Shabbat. He brought to the altar 14 oxen from amongst the cattle, and 28 rams, and 49 sheep, and 7 lambs, and 21, I don't like to say this word, young goats, we'll say young goats, as an ascending smoke offering on the altar of sacrifice, well-pleasing and a sweet savor before Elohim. So one of the things I want to help people understand, because I don't know what it is about Christianity and crap, man. You think that somebody like Jacob is just like this. Well, he was a shepherd, and he was out in the pasture, and he's roaming around like he just had this small camp. No. He had much. Great much. Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, they all had much. Okay? This is, think of this as a tenth, an offering, like a tithe, okay, of his herds. So if he has 14 oxen, then that means he would have had 140 new ox. And ox are a big deal. That's like your tractor. That's huge. Okay? And he had 28 rams. That's 280, because he's given a tenth. Okay? 49 sheep, 490. 7 lambs, 70. Right? 21 goats, 210. Just understand what's going on. And other places we see too, like when these guys say, I'm going to take up arms and I'm going to go rescue. I'm going to go rescue Laban and all of his stuff. Like, they're multiple kings that they're conquering when they do that. Got to get understanding of these things, okay? This was his offering in consequence of the vow which he had vowed, that he would give a tenth with the first fruit offerings and drink offerings. And when the fire had consumed it, he burnt incense on the fire, over the fire, for a thank offering. 2 oxen, 4 rams, 4 sheep, he-goats, 2 sheep, a year old, and 2 of the goats. And thus he did daily for 7 days. So the 7 days now is Saku. Saku, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that would be 15 through 21. But there's a 22nd day also. Why? Well, we're about to find out. And he and all his sons and his males were eating with great joy during the 7 days, and the Barukah and thanksgiving of Yahuah, who had delivered him out of all of his tribulations and had given him his vow. Saku. And he tithed all the clean animals and made ascending smoke sacrifice, but the unclean animals he gave not to Louis or Levi. And he gave him and they gave that to the souls of the others. Like, so they wouldn't give the Qadash, the most Qadash things to Louis and his sons, but to the others. So also understand, okay, like when they make sacrifices, they're eating this stuff. This is like kind of like a barbecue, but clean and Qadash. You don't just burn it up and then, like, it's not wasted that way or anything like that. Okay? In everything that we eat and drink, we give thanks unto Yahuwah. And we partake of that. You consume it. It's Qadash. It's clean. You are to roast meat on the fire every single night of Saku. Every single one. So that's why I say, like, okay, if you're choosing to be a vegan, I don't know, hey man, you just clear your own conscience of what the scripture actually says that you're commanded to do. I'm going to obey what that says, and I don't have a problem. That's just me.
Right, and you know how Yahusha does say, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Like, the things that he commands us to do, when you start really walking in it, you actually start to look forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Saku is one of my favorite times
Me
of the
too.
years. Like, I'm like, we get to go camping outside and have a barbecue every night?
Yeah.
How is that not fun? Like,
yeah. Absolutely, baby. Love it. Love it. And Louis just discharged the priestly office at Baal before Yaakov, his father, in the preference to his 10 brothers, and he was a priest there, and Yaakov gave his vow. Thus he tithed again the tithe to Yahuah and sanctified it, and it became Qadash unto him. And for this reason it is ordained on the heavenly tablets as a thurah for the tithing again the tithe to eat before Yahuah from year to year. So it ain't giving your money to the church. It's a sacrifice, but it's a feast. You eat it. You eat the tithe. Do you see? You gotta see. Do you see what I'm saying? It ain't giving money to the church. It's craziness. Okay? Right? Okay. And it also says, in the place where it is chosen that his name should dwell. And to this thurah there is no limit of days forever. So when people ask me questions too about the calendar and why I arrived where I arrived, because I based it on equal parts of light and, or should say day and night in Jerusalem, where he placed his name forever according to the scriptures. Because obviously if you're in what's someplace the most north in Canada, babe? Give me a place.
Yukon?
If you're in the Yukon, okay, your season is completely different than somebody down in New Zealand. Or what's the tip of South America? Buenos Aires?
Yeah. Well, no.
No? What did I just give?
That's Argentina.
Oh, Argentina.
But even like South Africa is pretty far.
Yeah.
Down there, right?
See, so if we did that, their spring feasts would be at opposite times. So how are they supposed to walk in the same Moedim with the rest of Yashar'Al? That's why I chose for it to be based on Jerusalem. Okay, Nemo, you ask an interesting question. 4th day of creation line up with spring equinox? No, because if you look, the spring equinox is every 365 and a quarter days. It matches the pagan calendar perfectly. It always ends up on March 20, March 20, March 20, like all these years in a row. It's not how we number our days. We count out 364 days perfectly, perpetually, in all your generations, the scripture says. 52 weeks, 52 Shabbats a year, and then you start over. So it doesn't matter what the equinox does to Yashar'Al. That's what the sun-worshipping cults follow. Okay? We have to believe without seeing that we're following Yahuah in his word, in his Moedim. Anybody who says, oh, I need to see a sign in the heavens, isn't that just like what it says? What's that one that says, cursed be this generation that seeketh after a sign, for none shall be given save the sign of Yonah, right? So I get it, bro, that it's not for everything, not for everyone, but I'm just telling you the truth as the Father's shown me in his word, okay? So once we know what the first of Abib is, we count out 364 days and we start over, regardless of what popes say or Gregorian calendars say, or even lying signs. We could have lying signs in the Shemayim too, you know? So we're not going to fall for any of that stuff. We're going to follow what the word says exactly. In fact, Yahuah told Nach that on the day that you perish, your sons will break this agreement and drink the blood, and all the times will be dislodged from them. So Yubalym chapter 8 explains to us why the curse came onto us in the first place and how long ago it was. All the way back when Noah died. That's how long ago, family. That's a long time ago. You know? But great question. And I think you asked I thank you for asking it. Yes, 30, 30, 31, 30, 30, 31. There's no days of darkness. That's blasphemy. Yahuwah's days are not darkness. The darkness is separated from the light. Sorry, I'm passionate about that because I got people out here teaching that nonsense. They'll just throw a bunch of extra days in there so they can make things line up. They want to force the Shabbat to be on Saturn's day. That's Saturn worship. That's Satan worship. Those people that say they're Yashar'Al and do lie, they don't have his seal. Seal's kind of like a ring. You're placed apart. You're the bride of Yahuwah. You have his Shabbat. They don't. Right? They deny HaMashiach. They're not the people. Okay. Revelation 2:9, Revelation 3:9 make that very clear. Anyways, I got so full of zeal right there I lost my place. Go ahead, honey.
Even in the TikTok land, right? There's people who have his name, who say they keep the Moedim, but are still trying to force the calendar to have a Saturday Shabbat.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, so you reminded me of something I was going to say. So at the Caves of Qumran, the Zadok priesthood, they claim, okay, when they make a discovery in a cave, who comes in? The authorities, the regulators. Oh, we got to manage all this. We got to do, they make themselves in charge, right? And so they might say they found something there that they didn't actually find. I don't trust that. Now listen to this. They claim that the Zadok priesthood started counting on the 4th day because that's when the sun was made. I'm going to tell you right now, family, that's false because that makes Yahuwah out to be a liar. Listen, I'll explain. Yahuwah said the first day, dawning and evening was the first day, and it was Taub. Second day, dawning and evening was the second day, and it was Taub. When it says dawning and evening, those are the bookends of the day. The night is the night. It's separate from the day. The day starts out with the sun up, pretty colors in the sky, ends with the sun down, pretty colors in the sky. That's the day. 12 hours. Are there not 12 hours in the day, says Yahusha HaMashiach? Okay? And everybody knows this because it's self-evident. It's very obvious. Yahuwah didn't start counting on the 4th day. He started counting on the 1st day. First day is Taub. Second day is Taub. Third day is Taub. Fourth day is Taub. Did he start over? Oh, 5th day. 6th day. You see what I'm saying? He established the pattern of 7. 6 days you shall work in all your labors. On the 7th day shall be Qadash unto Yahuwah. Separate. It's totally separate. And it doesn't ever change. You have 52 Shabbats and you start over. So the Shabbat never moved. The only thing that ever changed was the pagan calendar. Baruk Yahuah. Shabbat never changes, never moves. The fixed feast days are fixed because they're always in the same place. If you get my calendar, you're going to see it's right there. I say mine, but it ain't really mine, it's his. Pesach is always the evening of the 14th. Saku is always the 15th to the 22nd of the 7th month. It never moves. It's always right there. Okay, the Shabbats, they never move. The only thing ever that moves is the new moon day. There are 4 new moon days. There's no one feast of trumpets. There's 4 feasts of blowing the shupar, the ram's horn, Baruk Yahuah. Okay?
Today is Shabbat.
So look, so let me just see. You see this person right here, you guys? 3 emerald. Let me just tell you. You can go look this up. Anyone go look and test because there's pride. You see that pride? Listen to this. The word Hebrew is Latin. Go look it up. It's from like the 14th century. You think those people, the Latin kings, name us? What's Latin? Romance language. R-O-M-A-N. Roman. Roman. Still a slave. Baruk Yahuah. Okay? Israelite. I-S-R-A-E-L. 3, 4 mighty ones. You never heard it before. See, you're going to scoff. I'm giving you facts. It's Yashar'Al, the upright peoples of Elohim. Those people with the Yiddish, you're going to listen to them? It's just foolishness. Right? The language, the pure language of Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 9 is Abrith. Just like Abraham and the Abrim people crossed over. That's, look at, that's modern. That's where the vowel points came from. Did Yahuwah give us vowel points? Show me where Yahuwah gave us vowel points. It came from lying scribes who you're parroting. You're copying them. They're not the ones. They say that they are, but they do lie. They're of their father. Baruk Yahuah. Baruk Yahuah. The pure language, it doesn't have vowel points. Nope. All right, I'm going to keep it moving for those who are actually hungry. You're just distracting us now. All right? This ordinance is written that it may be completed from year to year in eating, you eat the tithe, eating the second tithe before Yahuwah in the place where it has been chosen, and nothing shall remain over. It is from this year to the year following.
Eris.
Shalom, Eris. Welcome in. Okay? For in its year shall the seed be eaten, till the days of the gathering of the seed of the year, and the vine till the days of the vine, and the oil till the days of its season. So I'm still seeking some understanding. I don't go to the occupiers of the land who claim to be the true descendants but are not, for understanding. Okay? And all that is left thereof and becomes old, let it be regarded as polluted, let it be burnt with fire, for it is unclean. And thus let them eat it together in the sanctuary, and let them not suffer it to become old. And all the tithes of the oxen and the sheep shall be Qadash unto Yahuwah, and shall belong to the priests, which they will eat before him from year to year. For thus it is ordained and engraved regarding the tithe on the heavenly tablets. Baruk Yahuah. And on the following night, on the 22nd day, so remember I told you I was going to explain to you why Saku has 8 days and not 7. It's coming up right here. And on the following night, on the 22nd day of this month, Jacob resolved to build that place and to surround the court with a wall and to sanctify it and to make it Qadash forever for himself and for his children after him. And Yahuwah appeared to him by night and Baruk him and said unto him, Your name shall not be called Jacob, but Yashar'Al shall they name your name. Okay. So you guys know in the scriptures, the canon that we have, it says that Jacob or Jacob wrestled with an angel and he touched the sinew of his hip and all that. You guys know about that, right? Okay. I started out and I was going to have like some kind of image of that on there, right? And that your name shall be Yashar'Al now, right? But then I realized, oh my gosh, I can't have that image. I can't have that background. Why? Because Yahuwah appeared to him by night and Baruk him and said, Your name shall be called Jacob, but Yashar'Al shall they name your name. And he said unto him again, I am Yahuwah, who created the heavens and the earth, and I will increase you and multiply you exceeding, and kings shall come forth from you, and they shall judge everywhere, wherever the foot of the sons of Adam has trodden. Your seed will be kings of the whole earth. That's 144,000, Baruk Yahuah. Who was it that wrestled with him and changed his name right here? Yahuwah. It's very clear. It goes on even more. And I will give to your seed all the earth which is under heaven, and they shall judge over all the nations according to their desires. And after that they shall get possessions of the whole earth and inherit it forever. I can't even remember. I think we were in Hanuk. It actually says that Yahuwah created everything for Yashar'Al, for his bride, for his chosen, right? And that's really beautiful. I mean, the wicked are getting to enjoy sunlight and fresh air and all these things for now, but it's ultimately not for them. The wicked are rooted out, removed from the earth, okay? It's actually for us and for our families forever, so hallelujah. Yahuwah. And he finished speaking with him, and he went up from him, and Jacob looked till he had ascended into the Shemayim, the heavens, and he saw a vision of the night, and behold, an angel, goes back to saying an angel, descended from heaven with 7 tablets in his hands. And he gave them to Jacob, and he read them and knew all that was written therein, everything that would happen to his sons throughout all the ages. He got all of it. Okay? And he showed him all that was written on the tablets and said, do not build this place. Do not make an eternal sanctuary. Do not dwell here, for this is not the place. Go to the house of Abraham, your father, his grandfather, and dwell with Yitzhak, your father, until the day of his death. For in Mitzrayim you shall die in Shalum, and in this land you shall be buried with esteem at the sepulchre of your fathers with Abraham and Yitzhak. So they brought Jacob's bones out of Mitzrayim to place them in the, well, I would say the double cave that's referenced multiple places in here.
Joseph too.
And Joseph too. Okay. Fear not, for as you have seen and read, thus shall it be. And do write everything as you have seen and read. And Jacob said, Yahuah. He called him Yahuah, the Malach, the angel. Now, if this is a Qadash angel, what should he have said?
Do not worry.
Bo, by no means. I'm not Yahuah. I'm a messenger. But he didn't. What did he say? Okay, first Jacob said, Yahuah, how can I remember all that I have read and seen? So he's asking this angel, calling him Yahuah and saying, how am I going to remember all that? I will bring all things to your remembrance. Hallelujah, Yahuah. Okay? And you can also reference John chapter 14, verse 26. Actually, you want to get that one for me, babe? Please? Mm-hmm. Are you able to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was just looking at our cute doggy. He's all curled.
Let me grab another drink.
His face.
What book am I reading from? I'm reading from the book of Yubalym. Jubilees means ram's horn, and I'm in the Sefer. Okay.
What was it again?
14:26.
John.
Sorry, yes, John.
26.
14.
Got that part.
26.
But the Comforter, which is the Ruach Ha'Qadash, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance, whosoever I have said unto you.
Bring all things into remembrance what I have said to you. Okay, yeah.
He.
He, of course. Yes, because the Ruach is the Ruach of Yahuah.
Is Yahuah.
Is Yahuah, right. It's not some female. Sheesh. Okay, and then he went up from him. Jacob awoke from his sleep and remembered everything that he had read and seen. And he wrote down all the words which he had read and seen. And so he celebrated there yet another day. And he sacrificed thereon according to all that he had sacrificed on the former days. And he called the name of it Addition. For this day was added to the former days that he had called the feast, which we know as Saku, or tabernacles, or booths, they like to say. Because I would be like, man, I wonder why it goes from the 15th to the 22nd. It kind of seems like it'd be 7 days, like unleavened bread or whatnot, right? Anyway, I found that pretty amazing. And so there that is. And it was manifested that it should be, and it is written on heavenly tablets. Wherefore it was revealed to him that he should celebrate it and add it to the 7 days of the feast. And its name was called Addition, because that it was recorded among the days of the feast according to the number of the days of the year. And in the night of the 23rd of this month, Daburah, Ribkah's nurse, died. So that is not actually Haimodim. Okay, and they buried her beneath the city under the oak of the river, and called the name of that place the river of Deborah, and the oak of the mourning for Deborah. So here's a time that we can say mourning, and it's okay, because it is what you do weeping for the deceased in your mourning. When the sun comes up, it's not a time to mourn. It's the dawning.
To rejoice.
Time
to rejoice.
Time to rejoice, right? This is a day that Yahuwah hath made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Baruk Yahuah. And Rivkah went and returned to the house to the father Yitzhak. And Jacob sent by her hand rams and sheep and he-goats, that she should prepare the meal for Yitzhak that he desired. And he went after his mother till he came to the land of Kabratan, and he dwelt there. You know, Jacob, when he was away from his parents, he would always send gifts 4 times a year on the 4 seasonal new moons. He would always send them, like here, like he sends rams, sheep, he-goats. We don't know exactly how many, but more than one, or it wouldn't be written in the plurality, right? I guess. Baruk Yahuah. And Rachel bore a son in the night, and called his name Son of My Sorrow, for she suffered in giving him birth. But his father called his name Benjamin, on the 11th of the 8th month, in the first of the 6th week of this Jubilee. Okay? So that's not one of the Moedims either. I already checked. And it says Rachel perished there, and she was buried in the land of Ephrath, the name Bethlehem. And Yaakov built a pillar on the grave of Rachel on the road above her grave. Alright. So we have 33, 34, and 35. I need to keep it going, guys. Let me know if there's any questions on that come up. Significant, whatever. And Jacob went and dwelt to the south of Magdalarath, and he went to his father Yitzhak, he and Leah his woman, on the new moon of the 10th month. Now we do have a Moedim. Notice how it said the 11th of the 8th month? It's not doing that here. It's saying the new moon of the 10th month. Well, that's the marker for winter, which we just had not even too long ago. Like, we had a full moon, if you guys recall, it was on December 15th. So that next day was the new moon day for the first day of summer. So, like I said, Qadash assembly, offering made by fire, no servile work, blow the shupar, ram's horn. So what happened? The new moon of the 10th month, he went to his father Yitzhak. See how why is he going and visiting him again? It's a feast day. Just like before when he came and went to him, it was on a feast day, right? And, okay. This part, some of you guys might not know about this, so this is pretty intense. Reuban, or who they call Reuben, saw Bilhah, Rachel's maid, and concubine of his father, bathing in the water in a secret place, and he loved her, and he hid himself at the night. And then he entered into the house of Bilhah at night, and he found her sleeping alone on a bed in her house, and he laid with her. And she awoke and saw, and behold, Reuben was lying with her in the bed. She uncovered the border of her covering, and seized him, and cried out, and discovered that it was Reuben. And she was ashamed because of him, and released her hand from him, and he fled away. And she lamented because of this thing exceedingly, and did not tell it to anyone. And when Jacob returned and sought after her, she said to him, I am not clean for you, for I have been defiled as regards you. For Reuben has defiled me, and has lain with me in the night, and I was asleep, and did not discover it until he uncovered my skirt, and slept with me. And Jacob was exceedingly wroth with Reuben, because he had lain with Bilhah, because he had uncovered his father's skirt.
Girl, how you not feel that?
I guess that's not saying much for him. I don't know why. I mean, geez, that kind of feels like a joke.
I know, I'm sorry, but it's like, how do you not know, though? Like,
right.
shouldn't she bear some sort of guilt too?
So you guys know, I've been saying this for a while. If you go back into Genesis when it talks about Noah or Noach, okay, how Ham uncovered his father's nakedness. A lot of people think that means Noah got drunk and he went in there and like peeked at his wiener. Okay, that ain't what's going on here at all. This is that he slept with his father's wife. Okay, this is another reason why the northern tribes can't be divorced from the father and then marry the son.
Yeah.
That would be to uncover the father's nakedness. Did you guys know that the word gospel actually means God's spell, and that God is actually the name of the Babylonian deity of fortune? Did you guys know these things? The truth is that it's called Basura, means great news, because the 10 tribes that were divorced are going to be married again to Yahuwah, because he's one. See how everything now is kind of coming together? Uncovering your father's nakedness. If you go back, what did Noach say? Baruk it be Sham and cursed be Canaan. Wait, why is he cursing Canaan when Ham was the one who did the thing? Because he was speaking a prophecy. Because Canaan saw the land that was given to Sham by Lot, casting lots. He got the choicest land in the middle where it's neither hot nor cold. And Canaan saw it and he wanted it. He saw the cities and he wanted those cities for himself to go conquer them and take them over. That land was never Canaan's land. Okay?
Right, but he's cursed because he's a product of incest.
He's also cursed because he's a product of incest, but he's also a trespasser, and Yahuwah hates trespassers. Seriously hates it. It's a really big deal. The fallen angels that came down here and slept with the sons of man and produced that defiled seed, they're trespassing here, and they're trapped here, and they're not getting out of here until the judgment. Okay, so know that, right? The Canaanites, they're trespassing. They're squatters in the land. Yahuwah does not appreciate that at all. That's why he went to Abraham and he said, I'm going to give you this land. It's restoring to him the land that was already his birthright. Abraham is a son of Sham. That's his land. It's supposed to be his land the whole time. Okay, so Yahuwah went and fought for him to remove the trespassers, the giants, the Nephilim, the Raphaim, all these different giants. All of them. The women, the children, everything that's there. Out. Okay? You gotta understand this stuff. Yes, baby.
So, wouldn't that also... Because it's an unforgivable transgression, right? Mm-hmm. Uncovering your father's nakedness?
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a second, but yes. It is the unforgivable hatah.
Okay, so just track with me for a second.
Okay.
If the sons of Elohim...
Mm-hmm.
slept with the women, or since.
Mm-hmm. That's Yahuwah's bride.
That's Yahuwah's bride.
Yeah, they fornicated with Yahuwah's bride.
Right.
And Yahuwah's bride played a harlot and sought after them.
Right. So they uncovered the father's nakedness. Maybe that's why they cannot be forgiven, is because they knew better and they did it anyways.
Scripture says that they knew better. And they were given an assignment to come and protect and watch over, and instead they defiled and...
But maybe that's why it's the unforgivable transgression, is they did the very thing that Canaan was cursed for, that Reuben is unforgiven for.
And you're saying that because they knew better. They knew that they weren't supposed to do that particular thing.
Well, yeah, that, and to sum it up in a very simple little package, but yeah.
Well, because we're going to cover the scriptures that explain it in just a second.
Yeah,
so.
I just never connected the two.
That's a great thing.
The fallen angels sleeping with the daughters of Yahuwah is uncovering the father's nakedness.
Because ultimately...
They defiled his bride.
Because ultimately those are his people.
Yeah.
Well, so he hadn't married Yashar'Al yet. But, I mean, maybe in a way he did. I don't know. Because that's like saying, well... The law was given at Mount Sinai. No, actually Adam had the instructions. That's how his sons knew to make sacrifices in the first place.
Right.
It's so yeah, I think you're really onto something there.
Sacrifices are part of the oath.
Right? I think it's really important for us to understand that submitting to Yahuwah as a theme, it's always in the scripture, and that marriage is a very, very key part of this whole thing. Right? That Yahuwah is a husband and he has a people to himself, the apple of his eye, that's to be his bride. So yeah, I think what you're saying is absolutely true. And we're going to see that because, if I don't know, so it's like 1 John chapter 5 verse 16, it says that there is a sin unto death. I'm not saying that you should palal for that. Okay? I'm spelling out sin because it's the name of a foreign mighty one. If you didn't know, you could go look it up. It's actually the name of a demon. And they wrote it all over our Bibles. Like, how many times does the word sin appear in the HOLY Bible? How many times? So much. Can't even say many. Whew, wow, I feel like I just was on like some adrenaline kick right there. Yaakov was exceeding wroth with Reuben because he had uncovered his father's skirt. And Yaakov did not approach her again because Reuben had defiled her. And as for any man who uncovers his father's skirt, his deed is wicked, exceeding, for he is abominable before Yahuwah. And there's going to be more on that coming up right here. All right. For this reason it is written and ordained on heavenly tablets that a man should not lie with his father's Asha, wife, and shall not uncover his father's skirt. That's what it means. For this is unclean. They shall surely be unalived together, the man who lies with his father's Asha, and the woman also, for they have wrought uncleanness on the earth. And there shall be nothing unclean before Elohim in the nation which he has chosen for himself as a possession. And again, it is written a second time, Cursed be he who lies with the woman of his father, for he has uncovered his father's shame. And all the Qadashayam, or righteous ones of Yahuah, said, So be it, so be it. Aman, Aman. Baruk Yahuah. So remember, this is the Qadash angels telling Masha everything that happened, right? So now they're saying to Masha, Do you, Masha, command now the children of Yashar'Al that they observe this word? For it entails a punishment unto death. And it is unclean. And there is no atonement for it forever. That's key, guys. Think about that. Here's a transgression that is not covered, not atoned for. This is crazy. My mind was blown away when I was thinking about this. Because you think about what the blood of Yahusha covers, what kinds of transgressions it covers, and that this is more serious than those things. That's huge, right? Okay. There is no atonement to atone for the man who has committed this, but he is to be put to unaliving and slain and stoned with stones and rooted out from the midst of the people of our Elohim. For to no man who does this in all of Yashar'Al it be permitted to remain alive a single day on the earth, for he is an abomination and unclean. And let them not say, okay, now this is important. Right, the angels telling Masha, don't let anybody ever say that Reuben was granted life for forgiveness after he had done this to his father's concubine, or to her also, that she had a man, and her man Yaakov, his father, was still alive. The only reason that he was allowed to live on here is because this commandment had not yet been given in its fullness to Yashar'Al. They did not know better.
Was it the same for Ham?
Kind of like, oh, he winked at it because they didn't know. What?
Was it the same for Ham?
I don't know. I don't know. If it was, then the reason he was cursed was not because of that, but was because of what he was going to do in the future. Because I believe it was a prophecy that Noach spoke when he said, "Cursed be Canaan." That's what I believe. And because, and it says that all of his seed will be rooted out of the land because of that deed. Mm-hmm. So.
But what if it's just? What if it's both?
I already acknowledged that it could be. It could have been. But then you asked me if he also didn't know, and how could he have not known if Reuben did not know?
Right.
Then how could Ham have known?
Yeah. But Ham wasn't the one who was cursed. It was Canaan.
This is where they establish it in writing right here. He's saying from now on, you make it known so everyone will know and no one will have an excuse.
How come it wasn't established when Ham did it, though?
I don't know. That's what I just answered to you that I didn't know. I don't know. I understood your question from the beginning that you asked it.
Oh.
But that's why I said, well, maybe it wasn't that he was cursed because of uncovering his father's nakedness. Maybe it's that he was cursed because he was going to squat in the land and steal someone's land.
Cursed, though.
Canaan is the one. Yeah, no. Maybe the curse came upon Canaan because he was going to squat in the land. Maybe that's why there was no curse upon Ham, you're asking?
Yeah, why wasn't Ham put to stoned?
Right. Right. Maybe it's because of that it wasn't known yet. I don't know. So let's keep reading and see if we get the answer, because I know it's coming up right here. It says, for until that time there had not been revealed the ordinance and the judgment and the Thurah in its completeness for all. But in your day, Masha, it has been revealed as a Thurah of seasons and of days, and an everlasting Thurah for the everlasting generations. Does that help? You know how many times you ask a question and then if you read a little bit farther it's answered? That happens to my beautiful wife all the time. Honey.
Yeah.
Did that help?
No.
Okay. Well, I don't know everything. I don't know why, right? And for this Thurah there is no limit of days and no atonement for it. But they must both be rooted out in the midst of the nation on the day whereon they committed it. They shall slay them. So I would say that if Noach knew that and didn't do anything about it, then he was in disobedience for that, and it would have been told to us. I feel like my wife is staring at me with red on her face. She is angry at me.
No, I'm not angry.
What am I misunderstanding then?
I don't think it's something that you can answer for me. I have to sink Yah in it, because if it's an unforgivable transgression that there is no atonement for when Ham did it, why was it allowed to be continued throughout all of these generations to where it could repeat? When Reuben did it. Like, why wasn't Ham taken care of right then and there? Why wasn't it made known?
But it just said right here that it was not known.
I know, but why?
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. I can't answer you. That's like saying, well, why did he choose to make sapphire blue? I don't know why.
I'm just confused by it because
I mean, I understand that.
It seems like that's something that would have been rebuked, like, right then and there. Like, you don't do this. There's no atonement for this ever.
Yeah.
Stone
it's a really
Ham
huge deal, right?
and root it out.
Yeah.
But no, it goes on for generations and generations where even Reuben does it. And then it's dealt with. And I'm just really confused by it. I'm not trying to be a judge over Yah. I'm just trying to reconcile it in my own mind.
Yeah. And for this Thurah there is no limit of days and no atonement for it, but they must both be rooted out in the midst of the nation on the day whereon they commit it. They shall be slain. And do you, Masha, write it down for Yashar'Al, that they may observe it, and do according to these words, and not commit the chata unto death. For Yahuah, Eloheinu, our Elohim, is judge, who respects not person and accepts no gifts. In other words, he doesn't show favoritism, and you can't buy him off. Okay? And tell them these words of the agreement, the agreement, the oath, that they may hear and observe and be on their guard with respect to them, and not become destroyed or rooted out of the land, for their uncleanness and abomination and contamination and a pollution are all they who commit it on the earth before Elohim. That's the other thing, is that seems to be really, really important, is it's like now they're a contaminant. If they remain in the camp, if they're allowed to dwell with Yashar'Al, it's going to infect the others. That's why it's got to be rooted out, removed it out. Okay? There is no greater transgression than the fornication which they have committed. For Yashar'Al is Qadash unto Yahuah, their Elohim, a nation of inheritance, priestly and royal, kings and priests, nation, for his own possession. Right? It's almost like this. Like if the husband is like, well, these psychopaths can do whatever they want in their household, but as for me and my household, we will serve Yahuah. He's making sure that his own people are in order, right?
Yeah.
There shall no such unclean thing appear in the midst of this Qadash nation. And in the 3rd year of the 6th week, Yaakov and all his sons went and dwelt in the house of Abraham, near unto Yitzhak and Rivkah. Baruk Yahuah. And these were the names of the sons of Yaakov. So this is Now I don't think it doesn't say Reuben knew better and didn't care. It said that he did not know. Right? That's why his name is written on one of the gates in the New Jerusalem. That's why he's a part of the 144,000. You see what I'm saying? Ooh. A lot of unclean things being written right there.
CHRIST a lot too.
Yeah. Yahuah rebuked that. So, this is not on anyone here, but there's some people out here that get a little bit zealous in being proud that they're Judah, Yahudah, okay? And say that they're the elder and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, and they're not even the firstborn.
So, just to say right here, the firstborn son is Reuben, okay? Then you have Shamuan, Louis, Yehuda, Yashachar, Zabulon. The sons of Leah are the sons, those are the sons of Leah. Now the sons of Rachel, Yosef, Benjamin, the sons of Bilhah, Dan and Naphtali, the sons of Zilpah, Gad and Asher, or I should say Gad, I don't know. And also Dinah, that's the sister that was defiled, the daughter of Leah, the only daughter of Yaakov. 2, okay, in case you're wondering. And they came and bowed themselves unto Yitzhak, which would be like their grandfather, and Rivkah, their grandmother. And when they saw them, they Baruk Yaakov and all his sons, and Yitzhak rejoiced exceedingly, for he was able to see all the sons of Yaakov, even his younger son, and Baruk them. Okay? Baruk Yahuah. Chapter 34. And in the 6th year of this week, this 44th Jubilee. So I want to just do this one because I've been doing these throughout this series a little bit. So you guys know that there are 49 years, and then the 50th year is the Jubilee or the Yubalym year, right? So that's why I believe that when I calculate the Yubalyms, I do 50, because a lot of people argue and say it's 49. But if I said it was let's see, it says right here, the 44th. So if it's the 44th Yubalym and you only multiply it by 49, then you're leaving out at least 48 50th years that would have come to pass. You can't do that. That's just math ain't mathin', right? Think about that. So 44 times 50 puts us at the 2,200th year since creation. Okay, but it also says that it's the 6th year of this week. Okay, a week in here is 7 years. So maybe it's just plus 6, which would be 2206. Or it's possible that you would do the 6th year and the week, which would be an additional 7, which would be 2213. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, message me. But this book is giving us a working timeline from from creation, like all the way through. And so it's very helpful and profitable. You know, there's a lot of people that say that that the creation is greater than 6,000 years. They think it's old Earth, they say, right? And you want to believe these people who say, oh yeah, so many millions of years ago and billions of years ago and trillions of years ago. And I'd say that's all hogwash. That's all just utter BS. You know, a day is 1,000 years and 1,000 years is a day. So when we get to the millennial reign, it's the last 1,000 years of the week, the creation. I think that we're very late in the 6th, and we're about ready for this, for the sun to dawn on the 7th day, which would be the time of his millennial reign. Does that make sense? Huh?
I just thought about something.
Okay, what?
Well, we have night.
Yes, we have night.
So the 6th day ends. We have evening, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's this period of darkness before the 7th day dawning.
Oh, it's going to be dark. What if
that's the tribulation?
That's a pretty great thought that you just had there. I like it. Well, Teen Curl, Baruk Yahuah, for your awakening and coming into understanding. Please go watch my 2-part series called Clean Lips 1 and Clean Lips 2. I actually have a beloved brother who was here, I'm not sure if he still is in here, who interchangeably uses these names of demons, and I'm like, bro, you gotta stop. Exodus 23:13 says you cannot have the names of 4 mighty ones upon your lips. God is not a title. It's the Babylonian deity of fortune's name. Yashar'Al was making drink offerings and food offerings. That's what meat sacrificed to idols is. Okay? I just was reading in here how we were making these sacrifices to Yahuwah. And we give thanks to him. And when someone says, oh, thank God and Christ and Lord for this meal we're about to receive, that's eating meat sacrificed to idols. Okay? And I'm just saying to everyone out here in love, if you don't believe me, please go check Clean Lips 1 and Clean Lips 2, where I break all this stuff down, showing you all the unclean words, names of demons that I have learned thus far, or at that time anyway. I'm learning new ones still. And then also, what kind of words can we use in place that are clean and Qadash? Because I don't want to just tell you don't say this. I want to also say you can say this instead. Okay? Because that's how it is for my household. I have to come to my family and say, guess what, guys? There's another one that we're not allowed to say. And they're like, what? Right?
Oh my God.
F-U-L-L. Can't say it anymore. F-U-L-L. It's the name of a demon.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, what are we going to say? Right, but see, P-H-U-L has the exact same phonetic sound as F-U-L-L.
Right.
So that means joy, F-U-L, delight, F-U-L, on and on and on. It's beauty, F-U-L. It's just so much. And it's like, oh. I'm a man of unclean lips, and I dwell among a people of unclean lips, because we sure are. Yeah, that name that you just wrote there, broken since woken. Thank you for your question. So the letter J is from 1600 something. It's only about 500 years old. And if you put S-U-S at the end of anything, it's actually Zeus. So I'll give you an example. Pegasus, horse of Zeus. Dionysus, cup of Zeus. Hail Zeus. That's what that is. Hail Zeus. And then why do they keep saying it's H? C-H-R-I-S-T. Why is his name? Can I just say it for understanding? I don't want to say it. Why is it J-E-S-U-S-H-C-H-R-I-S-T? Because the H is for Horus. And the C-H-R-I-S-T is Krishna. Yes, but they had the J sound in demons flee at his name. Some demons appear to do that, but why? Because they're actually submitting to their master. See, it's meant to be a great deception that could deceive even the very elect if possible. So
signs and wonders.
That's why they seem to respond and all that. That's why it seems to be power in that name. But the people who believe that also probably think Trump is actually going to come in and fix things. But he don't have any problem saying that name at all. He doesn't have any problem saying G-O-D at all. Why is it that none of these people ever say Yahuwah and Yahusha on television? Right?
Yeah, how come Paula White and Kenneth Copeland can call upon the name of Jesus?
Mm-hmm.
You think they're clean?
Mm.
Come on now.
I'm grateful that you don't believe he's saving anything, because he's not. And if you have an interest, please check out the playlist Trump on my YouTube channel, because he's very wicked. Yeah. Yeah. And the Catholic Church uses it too, while they also sing praising Lucifer. It's crazy, but you know, they have the same symbolism and everything, all these different religious institutions, and that's like a whole big thing. You know what I did though, family? I lost my place. Oh, chapter 34. So it says it was the 6th year of this week of the 44th Jubilee. So I would say that's around 2207, something like that. Okay. Jacob sent his son to pasture their sheep, and his servants went with them to pasture in Shechem. And the 7 kings, this is interesting, of the Amorim assembled themselves together against them to slay them, hiding under the trees, to take the cattle as a, now this is the proper use of this word, prey. See, that's why I call this a palal, because I'm not praying. Praying is like what they're about ready to do onto the sons of Jacob here, to attack them, right? And Jacob and Louis and Yehuda and Yosef were in the house of Yitzhak their father, for his Ruach was sorrowful, and they could not leave him. And Benjamin was the youngest, and for this reason remained with the father. And there came the kings of Taphu, the kings of Aresa, the kings of Saragan, the kings of Salo, the kings of Gaas, the king of Bet Haran, and the king of Manashikar. So I just gave you 7 pagan kings. What kind of armies you think these guys got? You know what I'm saying? Think about that for a second. And all those who dwell within these mountains, and who dwell in the woods and in the land of Canaan. All Canaanites? No, you don't need to apologize, although I appreciate that, because a lot of times when I get that question, it's to argue. But I'm actually very grateful that you're seeking understanding. So hallelujah. Okay, so you got all these kings. How many did I just say, honey? 7?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Canaanite kings trying to come out against Jacob's boys here. That's what's going on. Well, they're not really boys, though. Some of them already have sons, too. Just saying.
Some of them are already grandfathers.
And they announced this to Jacob, saying, Behold, the kings of the Amorim have surrounded your sons and are plundering their herds. So this is Jacob, right? He arose from his house, he and his 3 sons, and all the servants of his father, and his own servants, and went out against them with 6,000 warriors who carried swords. 6,000. Remember I told you guys when you looked at his tithes, the offerings that he made, that he had a lot of substance. He got a lot of servants. He's got warriors. 6,000 swordsmen. Come on, y'all. And what did he do? Slew Arisa, Tafu, Saragon, Silo, Manashikar, Gaas, and he removed the herd. So he wiped them all out. They went and wiped them all out, you guys. Recovered the herds, prevailed over them, and forced a tribute over them, that they should have to pay him 5 fruit products of their lands. And also he built 2 cities, Robel and Tamnatares, whatever those are. Went and took care of business. For real. Like, this is serious stuff. Okay, and he returned in Shalum and made Shalum with them, and they became his servants until the day that he and his sons went down into Mitzrayim. Now, knowing what we know about the scriptures and having understanding, Jacob has been walking in righteousness, in obedience, in faithfulness. So when he takes up arms against these lawless pagans, Yahuwah is the one giving the victory. Aman? Yahuwah is the one who fights for us, and what do we need to do to have the victory is to be obedient to him. submit to him, walk in righteousness to him, that he fight for us as well. Baruk Yahuah.
Is this after Yosef is already gone?
I think that's coming up right now.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm only laughing because my baby, every time she asks me the most difficult questions sometimes, because she thinks, like, you know, and the Father uses it to challenge me to, like, try to seek out answers and get understanding and grow. But a lot of times she puts a cart right ahead of the horse because she asks me what's really coming next. And I think it's funny.
Sorry.
It's okay, baby.
I don't do it on purpose.
Well, I'm grateful that you are paying attention, and hallelujah. Get some questions for Torah Trivia next. When are you going to start again?
I don't know. We've got to talk about it.
Okay, we will talk about it. So in the 7th year of this week, he sent Yosef to learn about the welfare of his brothers and his house and the land of Shechem, and found them in the land of Dothan. Okay, so when did all this happen before? Remember, we said we were in the 6th year. So it's a year later. Timing is everything, they say, yeah. So 1 year later, now Yaakov is like sending his son Yosef, go check on your brothers. What's going on with them? Okay? And they dealt treacherously with him and formed a plot against him to slay him. But then, changing their minds, they sold him to the Ishmaelites, merchants.
Cousins.
Their cousins. Brought him down to Mitzrayim. Now, who's Mitzrayim? A son of Ham. Hamites. Okay? And they sold him to Potiphar, who is the eunuch of Pharaoh, the chief of the cooks, a priest in the city of Elu. And the sons of Jacob slaughtered a lamb, What?
He's a eunuch?
Potiphar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it says.
I'm sorry. I'm tripping out because I always thought that Yosef married Potiphar's daughter.
Well, he might have. That doesn't mean that he wasn't previously a father before he became a eunuch.
Maybe it was Pharaoh's daughter.
Maybe it was Pharaoh's daughter. Maybe we're going to find out soon.
Maybe I need to keep my mouth shut more.
No, all is well. So they slaughtered a goat, and they took Joseph's coat of many colors, remember, and they put this blood all over it from the goat. And then they gave it to Yaakov, their father. Now listen to this. On the 10th of the 7th month. Who can tell me what Moedim is the 10th of the 7th month? Write it in the chat. Don't give away the answer, baby. I know you know. I want to see if any of you guys can tell me. 10th of the 7th month. Baby, can I have some coffee?
No.
Please? You said no?
I don't know if there is any.
Yeah, there's some in the pump.
I know. Well, there was the last time I got some.
Oh, I didn't have any more. Come on, you guys. What feast is it? Saku? Nope, but a great guess. At least that's in the same month.
Ooh, yes.
I'm going to tell you a little bit hint. So it's from the evening of the 9th to the evening of the 10th. That should help. Fall? No. Nope.
How much more do you want?
I don't know. Do you just give me like a half a cup? I just want a little bit of hot on my throat. My throat's getting a little... Thank you, baby.
Welcome.
Day of Atonement. Day of Atonement. That's right. That's right. You guys got it. Baruk Yahuah. It looks like Dave got it in first, and then also Carol. Great job, you guys.
Hey, this isn't Torah trivia, okay?
That isn't Torah trivia.
Just kidding.
There's still not prizes, but you know. And you are learning, Damon. I love how much you dedicate yourself to being here. It's awesome. Okay, so this is a very significant thing that's happening here. We're going to understand. Maybe some people out in here, I don't know, but I'll tell you, Christianity don't know what the Day of Atonement's about at all. And a lot of people who claim to observe Torah, they don't either.
Well, how can the lawless understand atonement?
Yeah. You had to look at your calendar, yeah. Okay, so, They sold him to Potiphar. We already established that. And the sons of Jacob slaughtered the kid. They gave the bloody coat of many colors to Jacob. And what happened? He mourned all that night that they had brought it to him in the evening, and became feverish with mourning for his death, and said, "An evil beast has devoured my son Joseph." And all the members of the household were mourning with him that day, and they were grieving and mourning with him all that day. And the sons and his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And that day Bilhah heard the news of Joseph perishing, and she also expired. Okay? And right? And then she was living with Karpa, and Dinah also, his daughter, expired after Joseph perished. And there came these 3 mournings upon Yashar'Al in 1 month. And they buried Bilhah over against the tomb of Rachel, and Dinah also was buried there. And he mourned for Joseph 1 whole year, you guys. But I'm sure not just Joseph, only like all 3. Like he had 3 family members, just, you know, his wife, his daughter, his son. What's going on? Okay. He did not cease from weeping. And when they tried to comfort him, he would say, "Let me go down to Sheol mourning for my son. For this reason it is ordained for the children of Yashar'Al that they shall afflict themselves on the 10th of the 7th month, on the day that the news was made Jacob to weep." Okay? That they should make atonement for themselves with the young goat on the 10th of the 7th month, once a year, for their transgressions, for they had grieved the affliction of their father regarding Joseph, his son. So what is it that they're remembering? Their transgressions. They're lowering themselves because of the wicked deed that they did that year. The remembrance to afflict yourself. This isn't just like fasting. In fact, how do you fast when you're having a sacrifice? Right? Because they're slaughtering a goat. 2. Okay. And this day has been ordained that they should grieve for their transgressions, hatah, and for all the transgressions, for all their errors, so that they might cleanse themselves on that day once a year. And after Joseph perished, the sons of Jacob took unto themselves wives. Okay, this is going to get significant. So just really quick, just to say, Yahusha HaMashiach is the atonement for Yashar'Al's transgression. We are not slaughtering a lamb or a goat on the Day of Atonement to cover for our transgressions, okay? We do not believe in that. I just want to make sure that that's said and very clearly understood, okay? We do believe that we roast meat and have offering by fire unto Yahuwah on his Moedim, but we are not doing that in order to cover for our transgressions that have been washed in the blood of Yahusha HaMashiach. Aman, Halu Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah. Okay, now this is important.
It's because that afflict, right?
Yeah.
It's like humility.
Yes, lowering yourself.
It's lowering yourself and remembering that you need the ultimate atonement, which is the blood of Yahusha.
Yeah.
Like it's a remembrance to...
I did a video on the Day of Atonement last Day of Atonement. I made a video about the Day of Atonement, and it's on the YouTube channel if you want to go check it out. I think it's very helpful, very fruitful. Okay, the sons of Jacob are taking on wives. Now here we go. The name of Reuben's Ashah was Ada. The name of Shaman's Alba. A Canaanite. So we got to understand. Shamuan married a Canaanite. They are not supposed to marry Canaanites. You guys remember just a little bit back when Rabka was telling Jacob to promise to her that he would not marry a Canaanite like his brother Esau, who had multiple Canaanite wives. Okay? So, didn't take long. Didn't take long. Jacob's own sons, a couple of them, married Canaanite wives, just so you guys know. And the name of Louise' woman was Malka of the daughters of Aram, the seed of the son of Terach. The name of Yahudah's woman, Bat Sual, Canaanite. Simon and Yehuda already. Okay? Just saying. The name of Yishkar's woman, Hazakah. The name of Zebulun's woman, Ni Amin. The name of Dan's woman, Agla. The name of Naphtali's woman, Rasu. And of Aram Naharim. And the name of Gad's woman, Makkah. The name of Asher's woman, Ayona. And the name of Joseph's woman, Asenath. And she was a Mitzri. So, 2 Canaanites and a Mitzri wife. Wives of other nations. Okay, that's the thing. That's the commandment. You got to get that. All right, and it also says the name of Benjamin's woman was Iaska. So Shamian repented that he took himself a second Ashah from Aram Naharim, just as his brothers did. And let me see if I have it on here. So that's the very end of 35. Because, you know, this translation, some of the names, I know they're wrong. I'd have to go back and look at all the original letters, and guess what we don't have? We don't have a concordance for Yubalym or Chanuk. Why would they? These publishing companies could make a lot of money selling that to the world, but they don't. Tell me why. The originals are found in the caves of Qumran, right? So it's Mesopotamian, right? So most of the brothers had Mesopotamian. Who is that? Do you know? You're really good with these genealogies. I struggle at. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, it's where Abraham came from.
Okay.
They're Babylon.
Ur?
Yeah.
Oh, Babylonian. Well, then there would be other nations.
Hebron.
Okay, well.
Is where Yitzhak got Rabka from.
Yeah. Well, so I'm kind of surprised. I would be very surprised if Yaakov didn't tell his sons to marry daughters from within, as he was told, because you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think that they probably knew.
I found something interesting. That.
Okay, go ahead.
The reason that Joseph's sons, Ephraim and Manasseh.
Yeah.
The reason they got Baruchs.
Yeah.
Was because the firstborn of Yaakov, which is Reuben, gave up his birthright when he defiled Yaakov's bed.
Where did you learn that from?
Genesis 35:22 and 49:4.
Okay, you want to read that? Or do you want me to read it?
I'll read it if you want me to.
So what's really crazy is I actually heard some people debating about this yesterday, and now she's bringing it out, and I feel like the Father's trying to show me something. I agree with you, Harry. It's actually, I would say the same thing. So Yahuwah told me that I'm a son of Shamuan. Now, how would anyone know? You know what I mean? You got to go back at least 17 generations to find out. Okay? And we're all scattered all over the place, and everyone's been moving around and intermarrying. You know what I mean? Like people who are like, "Oh, I'm Yehuda." How do you know? How do you know you're not Hamite? How do you know you're not Canaanite? You don't really know. And then if you say, "Oh, well, I'm going to go get a DNA test," who runs that? Who owns that?
Yeah.
I would never give the life is in the blood. You think I'm going to give it to them? Right? The 2 largest groups that I know that are affiliated with that. One resides in Salt Lake City, and the other one resides in Jerusalem, which is not even the name of the capital. Right? Who would you test it against? That's exactly right. See, and they always come up with nonsense too. Like they can say that a goat is Persian or whatever. Like it's not even human. I'm just saying, bro. So You know, we don't really know, but I think that when Yahusha said that he has other lambs that are not of this fold, meaning the southern tribes where they were, right? The ones that are scattered and lost, the lost sheep of Yashar'Al hear my voice. That's, yes, by their fruits, Ak. Absolutely. What I've been screaming from the rooftops out here. Absolutely. Known by our fruits, not by our appearances. Actually says in scripture to not judge by appearances, but to judge a righteous judgment, which would be based on Torah. That's the source of that's our understanding for what we compare righteousness to Torah. Torah. All right, babe, you gonna read those?
Okay, so I mean, it doesn't specifically say that it was given to Joseph's sons, but we know that it is.
Right.
Because it just says that, you know, chapter 39 talks about how Reuben defiled his father's bed, and then 49:4 is Yaakov giving the Baruchs out to each of his sons, and it says, Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, you shall not excel, because you went up to your father's bed, then defiled it.
Well, okay, but if you go look at the 12 gates in the New Jerusalem, you don't have a gate for Reuben?
Yeah, you do.
Interesting. Okay.
But I think it's just, you shall not excel, is like you're giving away what would have been yours because you did this thing.
Right, which is what? To be kings and priests forever after the order of Malach Sadak. What other greatest thing could there possibly be that Yahuwah is going to give? Right? That's why people are being prepared for. That's how they're going to be judging angels someday and things like this. But that's interesting that you brought that up. I'm going to be seeking it more, because I literally heard people debating on it yesterday, and you know, that's one of the first groups that didn't just outright reject me. A lot of people out here come on gang stalking, hating me and everything else because I'm white and I'm not supposed to have these scriptures, and I'm not supposed to, you know,
right.
I'm not supposed to be Yashar'Al, so according to them.
Like we're Muslim or something.
You know, it's just crazy. Okay.
Can I bring up an extra side note? I'm so sorry.
As long as you don't get upset with me that we go over 5 o'clock, because I still have to finish, you can bring up whatever you want. I could do this all day.
Okay. So you said something about Shimeon and Louis being special because they slayed.
Right, they avenged Dinah, their sister.
Right. But Yaakov also in his Baruch says Shimeon and Louis are brethren, instruments of cruelty are in their habitations.
Yeah.
O my soul, come not into their secret, unto their assembly. My honor, be not united, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dug down a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Yaakov and scatter them in Yashar'Al.
And that's what Yahuwah said?
Yaakov.
That's what Yaakov said.
In his last hours, giving out the Baruchs and curses to the 12 boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that just doesn't match exactly what Yahuwah said, so I don't know. But it's kind of like the same thing. Like if you go look at Yishkar, Abraham went to Rabka and said, I know that you love Yaakov more than Esau, and Yaakov is to be the choice seed. So he wanted Rabka to watch over Yaakov, because Yitzhak loved Esau more because he was the firstborn.
Yeah.
See, it's almost like the same thing. Reuben was the firstborn, right? Yahuwah didn't look at it in an unfavorable way at all. And if you guys want to go back, it's in chapter 30, and we just did it last week. It's on the video, or you could go look at it yourself. All right. Thank you, honey. Lots of things to consider there. Now I lost my place too.
I just thought it was interesting, though, that it said, I will divide them in Yaakov and scatter them in Yashar'Al. Do you think Yaakov was going against the will of Yahuwah by...
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I don't know. Do you remember where I was?
No,
we could try to finish what we started out to do a study on. It's okay. I don't remember where I was, you guys. I remember reading out the wives of the 12. In the first year of the 44th Jubilee, okay, I did that. We did the math. And you too, Mother, know from the time I was born. Okay, no, I'm just going to go back and start this again. In the first year of the first week of the 44th Jubilee, Rebekah called Yaakov, her son, and commanded him regarding his father and regarding his brother, that he should honor them all the days of his life. And Yaakov said, I will do everything as you have commanded me, for this thing will be honor and greatness to me. I'm hot. Burning up over here. Righteousness before Yahuah, that I should honor them. So Yaakov wants to do it. And you too, Mother, know, from the time I was born until this day, all my deeds and all that is in my heart, that I always think Taub concerning all. And how should I not then do this thing which you have commanded me, that I should honor my father and my brother? Tell me, Mother, what perversity have you seen in me? And I shall turn away from it, and mercy will be upon me. And she said unto him, My son, I have not seen in you all my days any perverse, but only upright deeds. So you know how you were just asking me, do I think that Yaakov was going against the will of Yahuah and this thing? And I was like, no, I will not say that. All I ever see is evidence that he was Qadash and feared Yahuah. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get a little confused with stuff like that. I want to look at it a little bit more. Thank you for bringing it out. And she said, My son, I have not seen in you in all my days anything perverse, but only upright deeds. Yashar, that's upright. Yashar'Al. And yet I will tell you the truth.
That's why his new name is Yashar'Al.
My son, that's right. You hear what she just said? Your name shall be Yashar'Al. Yeah. I shall not survive this year in my life, for I have seen it in a dream the day of my unaliving, that I shall not live beyond 155 years. And behold, I have completed all the days of my life which I am to live. And Yaakov laughed at the words of his mother, because his mother said unto him that she should expire. Yet she was sitting opposite him in possession of all her strength. And she was not infirm in her strength, for she went in and out and saw, and her teeth were strong, and no ailment had even touched her all the days of her life. And Yaakov said, Baruk am I, mother, if my days shall approach the days of your life, and my strength remain with me, thus it has you. You will not die, for you are jesting idly with me regarding this. So she went, see, he wouldn't even believe her, right? So she went to Yitzhak and said, This one petition that I make unto you, make Esau swear that he will not injure Yaakov, nor pursue him with enmity. For you know Esau's thoughts, that they are perverse from his youth, and there is no taubness in him, for he desires after you, she said, after you die, he's going to kill him, right? That's what he wants. And you know all that he has done since the day Yaakov his brother went to Tehran unto this day, how he has forsaken us with his whole heart, doing evil unto us. Remember I told you when Yaakov went away to marry a daughter of Laban, because they sent him, Rebekah sent him away to preserve his life because Esau wanted to kill him. Yaakov went away. He continued to send gifts to take care of his mother and father, because also Esau was forsaking them. Not only did he abandon them, he actually stole from them. He did. Okay? And when we implored, I'm sorry, let me go back. How he has forsaken us with his whole heart and done evil unto us, taken from your flocks unto himself, carrying off your possessions from before your face. Your own son was robbing you right in front of your own face, okay? Get understanding. This is crazy. And when we implored him and besought him for the things that were our very own, he treated us as if he was doing charity, it says. Yeah? Right here. He did as a man who is taking pity on us. Imagine that. And he is bitter against you because you Baruk Yaakov, your perfect and upright son, Yashar. So you want to know what it is about Jacob and Esau? Jacob and Esau, it ain't black and white. That's stupid.
They were twins.
They got the same mom and the same dad. They were birthed in the same womb at the same time. It's so crazy. One was only doing righteousness from the day he was born, and the other one did wickedness from the day he was born. Ripping off his own mom and dad right in front of their face, and then when they're like, hey, give us our stuff back, he was acting like he was having pity on them, giving them charity. That's disgusting. Okay?
Isn't that what the Pharisees did?
Also, make sure you understand in the scripture, Jacob and Esau were reconciled onto each other with a hug and a kiss. That's scripture. Okay? Yaakov reconciled himself to his brother with gifts, and by the time that happened, Esau wouldn't even accept his gifts. Right?
Right, so all these ones who are like, you Esau, you this, you that, right?
They come in here and say, I'm Esau. They don't even listen to anything I have to say. They just say it. Oh, you had to go visit with your son, Baruk Yahuah. Where are we now? Okay, so I'm in chapter 35 and verse 12. 35 and 12. And he is bitter against you because you Baruked Yaakov, who was perfect and upright, for there is no evil but only righteousness in him. Since he came from Haran unto this day, he has not robbed us of a thing, for he brings us everything in its season always. What is his season? 4 seasons a year. I told you, he sends them gifts 4 times a year, on the new moons, on the Moedims. Hallelujah. And rejoice with all his heart when we take his hand, and he Baruchs us and has not parted from us ever since he came back from Haran until this day. He remains with us continually at home, honoring us. What's the commandment about honoring your mother and father?
And gives you long life.
So Yaakov is keeping that commandment, and Esau was not. Esau was, his own mom says he's been nothing but wicked since he was little. Just some folks are like that, right? Baruk Yahuah. Okay.
Like Cain and Abel.
Yeah, like Cain and Abel. Again, same mother, same father. Talked about that in the first video too. Adam is the father. And they're not twins. They're 7 years apart. All right, Baruk Yahuah.
But Jacob and Esau are twins.
Yeah, Jacob and Esau are twins. We already said that. Thank you, baby.
Just reiterating it for anybody who might have just joined.
Oh, I'm just trying to touch you here. And Yitzhak said unto her, I too know and see the deeds of Yaakov who is with us, how that with all of his heart he honors us. But it is true that I loved Esau formerly more than Yaakov, because he was the firstborn. But now I love Yaakov more than Esau, for he has done manifold evil deeds. And there is no righteousness in him, for all his ways are unrighteousness and violence, and there is no righteousness around him. And now my heart is troubled because of all of his deeds. And neither he nor his seed is to be saved. For they are those who will be destroyed from the earth, and who will be rooted out from under the Shemayim. For he has forsaken the Elohim of Abraham, going after his wives, after their uncleanness, after their error, he and his children. Because he married Canaanite wives and worshipped their Elohims. Right? And now, you're bidding me to swear that he will slay Yaakov, his brother? Even if he swears it to me, he tells her, he's not going to abide by his oath. He will not do righteous, but evil only. Like, even if he tells me that he's not going to do it, his word is worth nothing. Right? They know he's a liar. But if he desires to slay Yaakov, listen to this, his brother, then into Jacob's hands he shall be given, and he will not escape from his hands, for he will descend into his hands. And fear you not on account of Jacob, for the guardian of Jacob is great and powerful and esteemed and praised more than the guardians of Esau. Word up, Yatzak. You see that? I love that. Right? He knows who fights for us. And Rivkah sent and called unto Esau, and he came to her. And she said unto him, I have a petition for you, my son, to make unto you, and do promise it to me, my son. And he said, I'll do everything that you say unto me, and I'll not refuse your petition. And she said, I ask you that on the day that I die, you will take me and bury me near Sarah, your father's mother, and that you and Jacob will love one another. Neither one of you will desire to do anything evil against the other, but only mutual love. And thus you shall prosper, my sons, and be honored in the midst of the land, and no enemy will rejoice over you. And you will be a baruchah and a mercy in the eyes of all those who love you. And he said, I will do all that you have told me, and I shall bury you on the day that you die near Sarah, my father's mother, as you have desired, that her bones may be near your bones. And Jacob, my brother, also I shall love above all flesh, for I have not a brother in all the earth but him alone. And this is no great merit for me, if I love him, for he is my brother. And we were sown together in your body, together came we forth from your womb. And if I do not love my brother, then whom shall I love? And I myself beg you to exhort Jacob concerning me and concerning my sons, for I know that he will assuredly be king over me and my sons. For on the day that Father baruked him, he made him to be the higher and me to be the lower. And I swear unto you that I shall love him and not desire evil against him all the days of my life, but Tawub only. And he swore unto her regarding all this matter. And she called Jacob before the eyes of Esau and gave him the commandment according to the words that she had spoken unto Esau. And he said, I shall do your pleasure, believe me, that no evil will proceed from me or from my sons against Esau. And I shall be first in naught, save in love only. So if you are a son of Jacob, and you have nothing but evil in your heart towards Esau, then, what's going on there with that, right? Jacob said he and his sons will never have anything evil against Esau. And they ate and drank, she and her sons, that night, and she died.
Maybe because they're not Yashar'Al.
Exactly what I'm implying, because they're not truly. 3 jubilees and 1 week and 1 year old. On that night, her 2 sons, Esau and Jacob, buried her in the double cave near Sarah, their father's mother, Baruk Yahuah. Yeah, the double cave. There's a lot of folks that are buried there. Right? It's a pretty significant thing, pretty significant place. Baruk Yahuah. So did Esau keep his word?
Keep reading. Yes, he did.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't think that I can find in the scripture the place that says otherwise, and they were reconciled together.
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing. Like when Yahuwah protected even Cain's children after he took his brother's life. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. There's some interesting things about the seed of Cain. I don't know if we're going to get into that right now.
Yeah.
I
don't think his children were protected.
No.
They were actually pretty wicked.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, they're the ones that they worshipped fallen angels and received knowledge from them. Like, you can read about Tubal-Cain and Jasher too, about how he was like a master metallurgist. because he received knowledge from fallen angels about how to be wicked and slay other humans, and yeah.
That's bringing out some knowledge, some insight. You know, we said we were going to have the drawing at 6 o'clock, and it's already after 5.
It's 5:07.
Yeah. For any of you guys who entered into the drawing, we're going to be having it live on YouTube in about an hour. If you're not following the YouTube channel, the link is in the bio, in the link tree, and I would ask that you go check it out. We just surpassed 670 subscribers, and there's like over 400 videos on there. A lot of it is kind of like what we did tonight, to be honest with you. We went through the entire book of Chanukh. Some of it is also topical, where we pull different scriptures from different places to cover specific topics. I think there's a lot of meat there for us that we could chew on, and you know, work things out together. My email is in the description of every video. You can always email me if you have questions, if you have praise reports, if you have palal requests. We'll be very excited to do the drawing here in a little less than an hour.
I'm so excited.
If you missed out on this one, please try to ensure that you're in the next one. If you email me, you can ask to be added to the list. You can also email me for a free copy of the calendar if you're interested in when the feasts are and all that. I want to learn about your calendar. Absolutely, Nemo. I'll be joyful to talk about that. I have a playlist on the YouTube channel called Calendar that has probably like 30 videos as well. So I would recommend, if someone really wanted to dive in, to go to that playlist and start watching the oldest videos first and kind of work your way up. Because I'm just a man and I make mistakes, and sometimes I think people know what I'm thinking and they don't, because they didn't watch the previous videos and they haven't been on the same path of discovery that I've been on. So, but then there's also times where people have asked me, can you do like a recap? Just do a broad overview. So I make a video where I start in Genesis and go through the key points of scripture that establish his calendar by my understanding. So that would be like new moon days, or new moon winter day is another one that was there. There's some of the more lengthy ones. You started in the middle. Well, you know, that way would work too, as long as you try to just get all of it in, you know. I would say the same thing about this book, right? You could start really wherever you want. Just make sure you read the whole thing and read it several times, and may the Ruach lead you to understanding. Because a lot of people read and quote scripture, but they have no understanding of what's really going on, because it's all fleshly. It's like this thing I shared with my wife, and please don't laugh at me, because... Alright. So somebody was in the live and they were telling me stuff about third dimension, fourth dimension. I was like, oh, it sounds like you're quoting Spock. Like, you don't have to do all that. Just obey the commandments and fear Elohim, you know? And then, you ever, like, you're waking up, you're half asleep, you're half awake, you don't know, was it a dream? Was I in between? I don't really know. Only Yahuwah knows. But it starts coming into my understanding that 2 dimensions is like walking in the flesh with no Ruach of Yahuwah. You're going through your life. This is what we were before we were born again. We were just 2-dimensional creatures, right? And then you get the Ruach, and it's like 3rd dimension now, because you're seeing the spiritual aspect of things. You're seeing spiritual warfare. You're like, haha, nice try, devil, you know. And you're calling out to Yahuwah when there's problems, and this is like being in the 3rd dimension. And then the 4th dimension is like when Yahuwah returns and gives us all new bodies and remakes the earth. Okay, I'm not big into this whole 3rd dimension, 4th dimension type of talk. But if it means anything, it means that. And yet you'll see all these New Agers and people who believe in the lies of scientism speaking this stuff all the time, saying a lot of things that might sound intelligent to someone who's listening, but they're fools. It's all foolishness. They don't believe the scriptures. They don't even believe in creation. I guess they believe it's all just energy. I'm like, bogus the heck with that, bro. If somebody cuts you, you're really gonna bleed. It's really gonna hurt. When I lost my leg, it really did hurt. When a woman gives birth to a child, she really is in pain. Like, for real. It ain't just energy. Like, you know what I mean? Or am I just babbling?
No.
It's true, right?
Mm-hmm.
Evil is real. Wicked spirits are for real. Like, there's people out here worshiping devils that want to oppress you. They want you to be sick to come to them so you can get some pharmakia so they can make some more money off of you. That's for real.
Even if we do have the Ruach, we are still tied to the flesh, so our perception isn't fully where it ultimately will be.
True that.
Just because we're aware of the spiritual and we have glimpses of it, the flesh is still perceiving things.
Right? So you receive the Ruach, so you have this third dimension thing going on, but you're still in the flesh. You're still here on the face of the earth.
You still have to do
it's
well
just
by it, too.
Helping you to navigate this two-dimensional reality so that you can discern what's evil, discern what's clean, know what's righteous, know how to please the Father, know how to walk in obedience when you're in right standing with Yahuwah.
Yeah, and this isn't some
your
new
palals,
age freaking...
No, not at all. The palals of a righteous man availeth much.
Our dog stinks.
Right? Yeah, we are tied to the physical realm, absolutely. You know, it's a Gnostic teaching that says everything flesh, everything that's flesh is evil and everything that's spirit is clean. So you need to walk in the spirit. Like, no, that's not right. That's not right.
Obviously
everything that is obedience to the scriptures and submission to Yahuwah is clean. Okay? You got a lot of wicked spirits out here. Just because they're spirits don't mean they're clean, bro. At all. A lot of them are very unclean. You know, actually, an interesting point too is when it says, as in the days of Noah, so shall it be at the return of the Son of Man. Okay? Meaning, my understanding is that before Noah went to Yahuwah, he asked him to remove all the wicked spirits from the earth that were causing bloodshed and causing problems for his sons. And Yahuwah agreed to remove them. And then the chief of the wicked spirits, possibly Hashatan by another name, came to him and came to Yahuwah and said, please remain out 10% under my command because these were created for this purpose, for this reason. And ultimately Yahuwah agreed. But he also gave apothecary to knock, writings that would explain how to treat all the ailments of pharmakia and everything else like this. So they went from having 100% of the wicked spirits on the earth down to just 10%. 90% of them are locked up. So at the time of the return of the son of Adam, those other 90% will be loosed so that it's back to the full 100%, just like it was in Noah's day. Does that make sense? It makes so much sense to me, family, like I'm telling you. And we may have already seen it start. Remember they went and they were like telling you, oh, we're going to open up all these portals. Oh yeah, the Pope is just going to do all this and open portals and stuff. Oh, there's all these orbs in the sky and there's this mysterious fog and people are getting sick and all this stuff is happening. That's why I said, don't be afraid of the fog. Fear Yahuwah. Because no matter what the evil spirits do, you can't just stop them. You can't make war with the beast system. Okay? But Yahuwah will fight for you. He will protect you. He will preserve you, so you need to obey Him. Submit to Him. Fear Yahuwah. And be wise. Don't be a fool. That's it, family. It's not really that hard. Nemo, you're right. Hashatan has no authority other than what the Father gives him. We saw that in Ya'ob. Right? We saw that in Ya'ob. And Hashatan will go to the Most High Yah and say, oh yeah, well, Yahuwah says, have you considered my servant Yahweh? And Hashatan's like, oh yeah, well, of course he submits to you. You give him everything. You protect him. You do all this stuff for him. You let harm come onto him and he'll curse you. Right? And so the father is like, okay, you can do this, but nothing else. So he goes and he does that. And what actually happens, that's why I have a video that says, be like Yahweh. Because even though things were happening unto him, he said, Baruk be Yahuah. He gives and takes away. Baruk be Hashem of Yahuwah forever, right? And so then the devil's like, well, yeah, but you didn't let me actually touch him. Let me touch him. I took all that he has, but I didn't touch him. And then he lets him touch him, but don't kill him. And it keeps on going like this. The Father keeps on giving him the next step, the next step. He can only do what Yahuwah allows. Yahuwah is sovereign over all spirits. That's what it is to be Malak of Malakim and Adoni of Adonim and all that, right? Because he's over them all. In a way, you can look at these wicked spirits as being a rod of the Father. If you have someone in your camp who's walking in disobedience and you let them go and you put them out of the camp, the hope is then that the Hashatan may afflict them and they'll be driven back into Yahuwah. That's scripture, right? You have that in the Berit Hadashah. So the Father uses these spirits to do his own will. They may mean it for evil, but he uses it for ta'ub. You were just reading Yahub the other day, Baruk Yahuah. I have a video on that, too. It seems pretty heavy, carnal. Yeah, because everything's increasing in this time, right? We see it. You see hearts of man grow cold. Everyone's becoming lovers of themselves. Right? There are none who seek after righteousness, right? And I think that we've also, I don't know if you've experienced it, but they say that it's some kind of disorder, a mental disorder, when you can see wicked spirits on people. I can see wicked spirits on people. Sometimes when we go to Costco, I'm kind of amazed at how much I see. It's right in front of my face. And I have to remind myself, because I think the enemy wants me to get angry at the person, right? That's what the enemy wants me, and be like, see? Well, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities and powers. And so, Yahuwah rebuked those spirits, right? The challenge is when it's somebody face to face with you, and you want to rebuke the spirits, and you want to, kind of talk past the person to the spirits and say, Yahuwah rebuke you, be gone, whatever. That person's going to be like, what are you talking about? Right? Yeah, it's a hardcore thing, right? But remember to, Mikial didn't rebuke Hashatan over Masha's bones, but said, Yahuwah. Let Yahuwah be the judge. I do that sometimes. I'll be like Yahuwah judge between you and I. Right? Let's leave it up to him. You get in these debates with people on Facebook. Facebook is crazy. Facebook is crazy. Alright. I'm going to get off of here. You guys are really a joy, a pleasure. We're so thankful for you guys, for real. Okay? Shabbat Shalom, Barak Yahuah, Hallelujah Yahuah. Until next week. And then sometimes I pop up here and there. So follow, keep an eye out, right? Message me if anything. What is Akuthi? So I would spell that Achuthy, and it means sister, my sister. You have Akuth, which is sister, and you have Akuthi, which would be like my sister. That's my understanding. Okay, just like you have Ak, which is a brother, and you have Aki, which is my brother. And you could have Akim, which is my brothers. Okay? Tada Rabba, thank you very much. You're welcome, Nemo. My honor. Hallelujah Yahuah. Damon, Diane, Ahaba, and Barukah. You guys. Hallelujah Yahuah. Shalom. You can't see my hand. Where's my hand? Why is it doing that? Look at that. Crazy TikTok. For however much longer we have TikTok, that is, right?
Yeah.
Whatever these platforms are that they have, we will try to use them for righteousness, to share his words of truth. And if anybody's in the area of the Pacific Northwest and wants to be immersed in living waters, get with me. I'll go with you. We do it. Living waters. Stream, lake, river,
there's
sea,
that off-grid
etc.
couple I told you about. They live outside Spokane.
Mm-hmm.
They want to.
Yeah, Hallelujah. Yahuah. You're in Dallas. Dallas is a little bit far for me. Let me try to see if
Sorry.
if you are in the Dallas area and you are an elder in Yashar'Al and you're interested, let me know so we can try to hook up Aki here. Okay? Orlando. I actually used to live in Orlando as well, Kingdom Dweller. Just hip on over. Hip hop, hippity hop on over. You probably won't catch me on a plane.
I was just thinking too, Akuthi Tracy.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
she's TLC on TikTok, I think.
Mm-hmm.
She lives in Idaho. So maybe we could make a whole thing.
What about Indiana? Broken Sense Woken says.
Indiana. Well, it depends on how far you are from Ohio. How far you're willing to travel, right? But young Yashay is in Ohio.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You shy?
Yashay. Email. So we don't lose your information.
Yeah, email. Because I do that on a computer and it's separate. Like I keep it in a file and stuff like that. Helps me to be more organized. Do the TikTok thing on the phone. But if you want to talk about the calendar or make any immersion arrangements or anything like that, email me, okay? Kentucky. Hallelujah. Yahuah. You can use all the help you can get. Yahuah is our help. He will make a way. Make sure you're doing everything you can to walk in righteousness like I told you. Get rid of that stuff. Get rid of the accursed thing, the unclean thing, out of your camp. Cleanse your camp. Walk in his true Moedim. Guard the Shabbat, the true seventh day, and watch. Watch what he does. Remember when we were in 31? I'm sorry, baby. One more second. I know I got to get off of here. You didn't say anything, but I know. It says right here. Where's my glasses?
You told me not to be upset if we go a little bit longer because I brought up that extra point. So.
That's right. On the new moon of the 4th month, which is a Moedim, okay, Jacob spoke unto all the people of his house. He had a lot of people under him. Remember that? There's over 6,000 swordsmen. You got a lot of women and children and everything. I'm sorry, females. I don't mean to say MEN. That's a moon God. Okay. Forgive me, Father. He said what? Purify yourself. Change your garments. Let us arise and go up to Baal, where I vowed the vow with him, the Most High Yahuwah, and they had to get rid of their strange Elohis and their idols and all that. You make a sacrifice to esteem Yahuwah and watch him Baruk you. Baruk Yahuah. Baruk Yahuah. He fights for us, family. Okay? Don't fear the world, the enemy, the things of the world. Don't fear the one who can destroy the body. Destroy the one that can destroy your soul and your body forever in the lake of fire. Hallelujah. Yahuah. All right. Did I miss anything, honey? I don't know if I missed any comments. I don't want to miss anything.
I don't think so.
Okay. Working on it. All right. Well, we'll be palawing for you, brother. Sister Baruk Atah Yahuah. Thank you very much. My honor. All right, guys. Shalom. Shalom. By the power and will of Yahweh, Yahusha, the Messiah, The one who we love him because he first loved us, right? Because while we were yet enemies at enmity with the Most High, he humbled himself. He took on flesh. He took on the role of a servant. He lived a perfect, righteous, or Qadash life. He willingly laid his life down. No one took it from him. He bore our iniquities on his body. He was impaled on a tree. He was in the tomb 3 days, and he rose again in power, in sovereignty, in majesty, in all esteem. All esteem Yahusha. Yahusha comes in the name of the Father, Yahuah. Baruk is he who comes in the name of the Most High. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. You'll also find the email in the description of all YouTube videos. So send us a message, a praise report, a prayer request. Much love.